change your name, change your smileys too. A Christmas Cade is waiting for you. The diehards on TV, the best Christmas film is true. It rhymes with one until the crisps are gone, or it goes out of beer. So post your cards in the poo box, you've been doing it for years. And leave a note at the stool bloke, or stool gran if she's here. It's strawberry floating Christmas, I have a gooseberry for New Year. Drink a pint of lager by the fireside, and hope you don't get vest this year. Oh no. No sign of Santa at my door. I've been waiting for a yodel since 4:30. I checked behind the bins by the burgers too, and now I don't have time to go bowling with you. 11:49, Hans about to fall. We didn't play Mario Kart at all. Shower starts again, Dan forgets his name. There's just one day left to go. What's this under the tree? A huge package waiting for me. To the quote thread, that last line's for you. Merry Christmas, Ron Dempster, Santa came through. It's strawberry floating Christmas, I have a gooseberry for New Year. Drink a pint of lager by the fireside, and hope you don't get vest this year. It's strawberry floating Christmas, I have a gooseberry for New Year. Drink a pint of lager by the fireside, and hope you don't get vest this year. It's strawberry floating Christmas, it's strawberry floating Christmas, it's strawberry floating Christmas, I have a gooseberry for New Year. I have a gooseberry for New Year. I have a gooseberry for New Year. I have a gooseberry for New Year.
Hello! Hey guys, this is the GRcade Twitchcast. I'm here today with Jenuall, Doom, and Victor Mildew.
Hello.
How are you doing, guys?
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm quite awake after my long journey of watching you play games.
Yes. Yes.
So, how did your lovely stream go the other day?
Went pretty well. I'd say it was a resounding success. It was. Yeah, we knew it was going to be tough, but there were points where we were like, you know what? If we get a power cut right now, we're not going to be too sad. It was like when it's 3 in the morning and the chat's dead because everyone's asleep, and you might have the odd one or two American come in, and you fight, you've hit the wall, you just you're grinding your teeth just trying to get through, like so yeah, but we had fun, and we set out the original. I don't know if anyone read my original post that I put up in the GRcade forums. I said we wanted to raise £100. As you know, we smashed multiple targets. I kept raising it by 50 quid because I was like, let's be realistic, let's not go nuts. And then, with 4 hours to go on the stream, we hit 300. And so I said, anyone who was there heard me say, let's go for 400. Let's go nuts. 4 hours to go. Let's hit 400. And I never drew, like, honestly, there was that part of me that was like, it would be nice to get there, but I'm not, £100 in 4 hours. Got to be realistic. And then the stream ended, and we had raised 470 quid. I genuinely, we were all absolutely blown away. Like, we had mine and Dan's wives were like on the sofas on the other side of the living room updating us with donations, and even they were just like, you've got more. And we were like, what? We just couldn't believe the fact that we blasted through 400. At one point I was like, are we going to hit 500 by the end of the stream? It was crazy, but it was a great experience. It's an experience that we're going to do again at some point, but we're going to have a bit of a break before we do that again. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I bet, man. So you made how much exactly?
£470 for Macmillan Cancer Support.
That is, no, it's really good. Like I was there towards the end, like I was there in between, but towards the end, like you got dicked over by another
that
ship.
last bit. Yeah,
but as I was saying to you on the stream, my words were, is like, you may not get anything in the game, you may lose out on all your loot, but you've raised a lot of money for a really good cause, and at the end of the day, isn't that worth more than that kind of thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. At the time, though, I was like, no, I want the loot. I want my loot back.
Yeah, you had a shit ton.
We worked out because we at about 4 in the morning, it must have been, we lost all the loot that we had built up from 6 in the evening, and we worked out that we had about 1 million gold's worth of loot that we'd lost. We recovered about 25% of it, which we somehow found in the water, and then obviously we built it all back up. Then, like, we again must have had about 500,000, maybe more's worth of gold. And then obviously towards the end, we got those guys chasing us, and anyone who was in the stream for the last hour, we were kind of avoiding them, trying to sell and run and stuff. And then eventually we were just like, as some of you know, we were just like, look, we got 2 options. We're going to be here for hours selling bits at a time, which we've got loads of stuff, or we got to go for it. And I think we decided, like, at the end of the day, we need to, like, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it properly. So we're going to go down we'll go down on our backs. Like, let's make this interesting. And yeah, I think it made for good viewing towards the end. I think it was a great way to end. All that, Jasmine was saying earlier that he was in the gym listening to it, and he said it made for a great radio drama, because obviously all of a sudden we'd all woken up and we were all shattered. Like, our eyes were burning from staring at a screen.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, can I point out, is we'd done 24 hours on one game. We could have done multiple games. We could have done it. We didn't. We done 24 hours straight on a single game. That requires serious concentration. Our eyes were burning. We were tired, and then that adrenaline rush for that last hour at the end, like, just pushed us to the end. Once that stream turned off and we turned off the Xboxes, we all crashed. We all crashed. Like, I literally got to the point where I wasn't able to talk properly. I was muddling my words. I completely crashed. We had burned everything in that last hour. And like, yeah, we don't know how we got through that right to the end. Like, we couldn't. I was struggling to stand up. Like, every time I stood up, I could feel myself, like, going to tip over. It took a serious toll on us. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy.
No,
but at the end of the day, it made for great drama to the end. We were victorious. We got the important bits of our loot back. We sold some loot, and we ended victorious. So can't do much about that. I am actually, I was just saying to Victor before we came online, I am going to go through the stream and try and do a bit of a highlight reel. So stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll stick it on YouTube or something, and I'll post the links everywhere and stuff. So yeah, should be good.
Lovely. Well, after that lovely intro from Doom telling us about his wicked 24 hours, I wanted to just say that the song that was played when the starting screen was on was actually I believe, written and performed. Everything was done by Victor Mildews.
It was, yes.
Did you have any help at all, or was everything all the instruments, all done by yourself?
The drums I found, because I can't stand drum machines. I used to use GarageBand on the Mac, and the drums sounded so crap. So I went and found a guy who posts loads of YouTube videos of just drum tracks. So I found ones that roughly matched. I found out what beat per minute I'd written to, and then I go filter it down to that thing, and I'd find one that's roughly matched it, nick the audio out of his YouTube video, and then edit it slightly and then use that. But apart from the drums, it's all my stuff.
Fair enough. That's really cool. We do, for those who No, you haven't missed Ad Song. Ad Song was last year's song. The new song that Mr. Mildew is debuting tonight will be in about 20 minutes. So we will be doing it. I believe you said you're not well, so you're not able to stick around for too long. So we was going to give a little bit of chat about Half-Life Alyx, aka not quite Half-Life 3, because I believe Half-Life 3 would be a sequel, and this seems to be a kind of a prequel, I believe. I'm not sure. So we were going to play it after that before he leaves. That's okay with everyone.
It's fine by me.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
I was going to take it fine anyway. So, how are you doing, Jenuall, man? It's been a while since you've been on. It feels like it. I think it was just after the Nintendo E3, was it?
It was, yeah. No, I joined in for the E3 Direct presentation, which was a fun one. But yeah, I don't know, 6 months ago or whenever E3 was. I can't remember now. It's all a blur.
Yeah, it was a while ago. But I thought before we start, because Victor said we talk a lot about Pokemon, I thought we'd start with Pokemon. Nah, seriously. There's not a lot to talk about today because we're awful people who don't look at the news enough. But we were going to start talking about Half-Life Alyx, I believe it is called. How much experience have you guys had with the Half-Life series in general?
I have played to death all of them, including the expansions, as in the opposing force and blue shift.
All right. I've played Blue Shift. I don't think I played. Blue Shift is where you're playing as a security guard or something, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where you play as Barney.
Barney. You look like a dinosaur to me. Yeah, so what about Doom? How much have you played, man?
Zero.
And this guy says he's a gamer. He hasn't played any Marios, apart from one or two. He hasn't played this. He's played very little.
Very little. I've played zero.
How about games in general?
Yeah. Oh, games in general. Yeah, I've played a few games.
3.
Yeah.
Sonic 2, Sea of Thieves, and Rocket League. They're the only games I know. And he did play a little bit of Skies of Arcadia, which he needs to get back to.
Yeah, let's not start that forest fire, because if Cricken was in chat, he'd be kicking off about that. But yeah, no, I mean, I remember having. I remember like back in the day, I picked up Counter-Strike Source, and it came with a copy of, I think it was Half-Life 2 or something like that at the time, with Steam, and yeah, just I think I booted it up to have a play, and I literally just started it and just no. I bearing in mind at the time I was probably only about 15, 14, and I didn't know, literally had no idea what was going on, can't remember any of it, and just went no, and then went back to Half-Life. So went back to Counter-Strike. So yeah, I've got basically zero experience with it.
Fair enough.
So
Disgusting. What about you, Jenuall? I'm assuming you've played at least Half-Life 2.
Yeah, no. So I'm like same as Victor. I've played them all, love them all. I was a huge Half-Life fan back when it first came out. Yeah, devoured the base game, and then again, same. I went through all the expansions, kind of any Half-Life related content I could grab. I was on it. So fan mods and kind of extra levels and all that stuff. And then Half-Life 2 again, loved it. and all the episodes. And yeah, I'm one of the many people sat waiting for the last, what was it, 12 years for anything else in the series.
More than that.
Yeah.
It might have been, yeah.
I think it's about 15.
I think it was 2007 was episode 2, I think, wasn't it? Or yeah. Either way, it's been a while. Let's face it.
Yeah. Too long.
So, yeah, I'm very excited about any Half-Life.
You've both played Half-Life from the beginning then. When it was released, the first game.
Yeah.
Because like I know like a lot of people say Half-Life was massive in that it revolutionized a lot of stuff in the first-person genre, especially like physics-based stuff in the games. Is there any games on, like, I don't know, any other games you could think of with that same kind of legacy other than Half-Life? Apart from, say, Doom. Not you, the person, Doom as in the game.
I've got legacy.
I would say the only game that springs to mind as being sort of changing, pardon the pun, changing the game would be the original Metal Gear Solid, because that's the first game I remember playing where it really felt like a blockbuster film.
Okay, that's fair enough. I'm gonna give my thoughts on Metal Gear Solid. I think I've done it enough.
What do you mean, one of the best games ever? I can't stand the Metal Gear series. I love that first one. I can't stand the other ones. Pretentious shit. Sorry.
I don't like any of them. I have said I will give it another try another day. Same with Final Fantasy VII, which I don't like very much. So.
I don't leave this chat.
Yeah. What's wrong with this guy? Come on.
With Half-Life Alyx, what is it about exactly, guys? Can anyone tell me? Victor, I'm guessing you, with the massive VR enthusiast, will start the conversation there.
Well, so Half-Life 2 was you played as Gordon Freeman as you did in the first Half-Life game, and along the way you meet it's a sort of a resistance going on. There's been an alien invasion of Earth, and you meet a resistance, and you meet a lady called Alyx, who is the daughter of one of the characters that you met in the first game. So you kind of she's like your companion, and I think it's one of the first examples of a companion being done in a game that wasn't shit.
Yeah, so I was thinking, not shit.
Yeah, it lived with you, and it didn't get in your way. It wasn't intrusive. It wasn't like, oh, I wish this person would just.
She felt like an actual good character in her own right as well, which is unusual for games.
When you got split up from her in the game, which happened at several points, you kind of missed her being around because she was really good at sort of fleshing out the story. But and then there's the 2 episodes which take place in the immediate aftermath of what happens, like minutes after what happens at the end of the second game. And the second of the episodes ends on a cliffhanger, which was a really, really good cliffhanger, which would have been fantastic if it got some resolution and not 12 or 13 years of waiting for nothing. So I'd imagine what's actually happened is they've tried several times to continue that story, and there's just no way they can live up to it. So I suspect what this actually is. They're saying it's a prequel. I think it's actually a stealthy sequel. I think it's really what Half-Life 3 was, and they've turned it into something else.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think, because they say it's a prequel, but I think one of the Valve developers has said, really ideally you need to have played episode 2 to have seen the way that finishes. And I think there's going to be some time shenanigans. I'm only guessing, I don't know, I'm guessing you're going to kind of go and undo some of this stuff, and it's really the sequel.
That would be interesting. I wonder how they would do that, but you know, Valve were good at one point at making games. Maybe they still are. Who knows? What are your thoughts, then, Jenuall? You looking forward to it anyway, guys?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where VR, obviously, the big thing to sort of say about this, obviously, which has annoyed lots of people on the internet who get annoyed very easily, is that it's VR exclusive. Which I don't own any kind of VR at the moment. I've not kind of invested in, Oculus or Vive or PSVR or anything. But this is the first thing I've looked at and thought I need to buy VR now. So I mean,
Astrobot never made you think about that. Astrobot, man, is I've not played a lot of VR simply because the way I've moved my room around, it's awkward for me to set up. Now I need to buy a stand to put the camera on. But I only played Astrobot and VR World. I went on VR World and did the deep sea dive, and it was quite cool. It was quite tense with the shark and stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. But when I played Astrobot, I was like, VR is fucking amazing. I don't know what it was about that game in VR. Just the little things you could do, like looking around walls and just the interactivity of it all and feeling like you're there with this little robot running. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, loads of people have raved about Astrobot, and I can totally believe that it is amazing. There's lots of things that I've looked at and heard about that have made me think, oh, when I get VR, I will pick that up, and I'm sure it will be amazing. But this is the first thing that's come along and made me think, now I need to get VR.
Yeah.
Everything else has been like, oh, there's going to be a great back catalogue of stuff to kind of get into once I, get over the hurdle of buying into it. But now, this is the first thing I thought, right, I need to move around some priorities to make this happen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that, and just the way, even though all we've seen so far is this kind of 2 minute, or even I don't even know if it's 2 minutes kind of presentation that they did, but even it already looks like they are using VR in a more interesting way than some other stuff has, and just you can tell they obviously Valve haven't been sat just counting their Steam money for the last 10 years. They have been trying to do stuff with real games, and they did a bunch of stuff. They did the Portal VR thing, didn't they? And so they've obviously been really trying to think, right, how do we make something great with VR, not just how do we take a game and that we've already got and turn it into VR. And it's kind of just looking at that short video, you can just see how actually this is they've designed this whole thing around it, and so now I think, right, it's going to really blow people away when they kind of jump into it. So yeah, I am now sort of thinking to myself, right, how do I find the ludicrous sums of money to get the Valve Index or whatever it's called. But I'm sold on the idea of Half-Life Alyx. Massively.
With Half-Life Alyx, obviously it's a VR game, but you have a few different VR headsets. With this Valve headset, it seems to have more interactivity again, from what I understand. Do you think playing it on another VR headset then is going to somehow compromise the experience? Because it seems like, I don't know, the Valve one seems to be able to do more with your hands and stuff, I think. Is that correct?
The Valve, what's it called? Yeah, this Index, is it Valve Index or Steam Index? I can't remember. Index anyway. You can, it's modular, so you can buy it as a pack, which has the tracking lighthouses, they call them, has the Index controllers, which were formerly known as Knuckles, and has the headset. But they've made it compatible. They've made the different pieces compatible with other Steam VR compatible headsets. So, for example, I've got a Vive. I got the second gen. It was a mild revision one I got, so not the Pro one. It's still the black one, but that came with the controllers. They look like sticks with hoops on the end. Really, they're great. I mean, the tracking's absolutely perfect on them. And if you've only played PSVR, to then switch to using these, you'd be blown away how good the tracking is. It's absolutely incredible. But then when I saw, the bit that sold me was in the Alyx trailer, there's a bit where she puts her hands up, and I just knew straight away, because I'd always wanted these controllers, but they're really expensive. They're like, when I saw the price of them, I was like, nah, I'm not getting those. But when I saw her put her hands up, I just thought, there's going to be stuff in that game where they go, put your hands up or redo gestures. I thought, I've got to have those. So I looked into it, and you can buy the modular bit. So I ordered, straight after seeing that trailer, I ordered those Index controllers because they came with a copy of Alyx. So you save yourself like 50 quid off it, really. That's my justification. And they turned up a few days ago, and they're completely compatible with what I've got. So I've got this kind of Franken VR setup at the moment. It's really good.
No, it sounds really cool then. Do you think, right, as you've said, people on the internet are really, really pissed now about this being VR and exclusive, not even going to be a traditional game at all. What do you think the chances are going to be that people will hack the game or mod the game to play on a normal desktop monitor and then bitch and moan about how these things, certain aspects of the game may be shit because they were meant to be played in VR?
Absolutely guaranteed.
Yeah.
And also, for example, say that what these people don't realise is that the act of, so for example, these index controllers, they've got full finger tracking, and they've got a system where you can let go of the controller and it stays close to your palm, so you effectively let go of things and move your hand around and then grab things. The act of, say, reaching out into the machine, twisting something, pulling it, pushing it back in, that could translate to a flat screen mouse gesture, but it would be shit. But these people are going to do this and go, oh, it's crap. Whereas the actual act of doing that itself is so immersive that you can't translate those two things across, even though you could replicate it with a button press.
Is Doom sleeping?
No, I'm here, but I've got. Would you blame me if I was asleep?
So like,
I've got my own opinions on VR, and I've got no opinions on Half-Life. So I'm the worst person to ask questions, unless you want to ask me like, what do I think about VR type questions. I can't really contribute, so I'm happy listening. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to ask me something, I'll answer, but I'll yeah.
I thought I could hear a slight snoring, that's all, so I thought I'd ask. I thought, is it a repeat performance? Yeah. So, if it's got full motion tracking for your fingers and everything, when they say raise your hands, you could realistically give them the finger and walk off.
Yeah, there's a demo. I can't remember what it's called. It's like it's done in the Portal universe. It's called like a hands demo or something, and you're in a little test chamber, and a robot thing comes down and tells you to do a load of stuff with your hands, and you just do it. So one of the things is to play scissors, paper, stone for the robot, and you do that. You wave at it, shake your fist, and you go to shake its hand, and then it takes the piss out of you for having a crap handshake, and it says, no, really give it a squeeze. Then you realise not only is it finger tracking, but it's got pressure sensitivity as well, so you can really squeeze it and you pull his arm off.
See, VR's good. I know that Doom is all like, yeah, I don't like VR, but Doom's wrong, and it's not a fad. But there you go.
Well, it's not just the fact that at the moment, like, I consider it a very expensive gimmick. It's very much a luxury item. I mean, all gaming is luxury, but that's the real that's an extreme luxury item in terms of cost. And if people want to enjoy VR, they can carry on. And I could probably try VR and say, yeah, it's a great experience, but I don't want to be that immersed. I don't want to be cut off from everything around me. I don't like that. Same reason why I don't like certain rides, like certain roller coasters and that. I like to maintain some form of control and of what I can do.
Yeah,
and
but the thing with
to have these headsets on, to have everything, you're so immersed. I feel so uncomfortable in that position. So,
but what you got to remember about VR in comparison to a ride is you can just take your VR headset off. Whereas on a ride, to get off it, you would probably have to jump off and die or wait for it to end. There's a big difference.
Yeah, in that sense, yes. But it doesn't change the fact that you're completely cut off from what's going on around you, which is great for immersion. And like I said, I bet you anything I would try it, and I would be like, oh my god, this is amazing. In trying it, but I would not use it in my own home. I literally. I hate that idea of being that immersed where you cut as soon as I'm from my surroundings and reality, that's too much for me. I'm happy with the big TV and just I can immerse myself. Do you know what I mean? And I've got control, in terms of I'm not constantly worried about hearing knocks at the door. I'm not constantly worried about my phone going, like my wife calling me, like, and I've got a baby on the way. There's no chance I'm going to risk that.
Yeah, but the best.
I got cats. Like I want to know where everything is, and
No, that's fair
like
enough.
I said,
I think
I can imagine that VR is amazing, but and I understand why they have to be costly. But I'm aware that some VR headsets, like if you want the full setup, you could pay 1,500 quid for these things, and it's too extreme. It's way too extreme for me.
That's fair enough.
Like I said,
it's expensive, isn't it? And like you say, 1,500 quid, and then you've got to be on top of a decent spec PC in the first place, kind of thing. So it's an expensive accessory on top of an expensive PC. So there is a massive barrier of entry.
The thing is, with VR,
it will get cheaper over time.
The best thing to do with VR is if you're not really keen on too much immersion in a sense, because wave sound is only play when your missus is there. So if she needs you for anything, she'll just do Poké.
Yeah, but then again,
you play in Resident Evil 7, all of a sudden she touches your side
exactly.
like.
I don't want that. I don't want the only way somebody can communicate with me is by having to touch me and catch me off guard. I don't want that. I don't like that idea.
I'm pretty sure you do if someone speaks to you, as long as you don't have to sound too high.
May I interject on that? Doom, I totally see where you're coming from. I think we talked about this a couple of podcasts ago. With the immersion thing. Because on the one hand, like for example, Elite Dangerous. I don't know if you're familiar with the game at all.
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
The game is
like
exactly
a space, like No Man's Sky, but more space than land.
Yeah, it's pure being in your spaceship. It's almost like a flight sim in space.
Yeah,
and you can play that in VR, and my god, it's absolutely incredible. And that sort of thing can be very relaxing and it's nice. But to play something like, say, Resident Evil on my own, no way. I won't play something like that. I won't play it unless my wife's in the house. And if she wasn't in the house, I would probably have to go down and put like an amplifier against the front door or something, and a broom under this one, or a chair under the door handle to make sure no one's coming in. But Steam VR. So Steam VR is like the platform that Steam runs on, and then all the headsets plug into that, so it can run across multiple brands like Facebook, whatever it's called, Oculus, and Windows Community and things. They have a feature called I think it's like Knock Knock. I think it's called.
Yeah.
So rather than someone prodding you can actually set it so someone can just press the space bar on your keyboard or something, and it'll do like a little, like little tap.
Yeah.
Sort of
There's also when I used PlayStation VR, I was streaming, so you have chat on screen as well. So you can just have someone just message you on there if you need to in your Twitch channel, going, "Hey dude, I'm outside. Take a cat log."
And also, the high barrier entry of cost. I mean, if you want the really premium one, the PC thing's going to run you like £3,000-4,000, isn't it, to get a really premium one? But the PlayStation VR, I got that maybe a year ago, maybe not even a year ago, maybe say 8 months ago, having had the Vive for 3 or 4 years now, I was really surprised how close it was in visuals and experience. I mean, it's just, you can buy, I've got a couple of the games through Plus, I think, that I've already got on here, so I tried those, and it's like...
Yeah, some of them are on Plus, like VR enabled and shit. Another thing is, I got a mega pack, and it was like 200 odd quid, and it come with 5 games. And I think I paid a little bit extra to get Ace Combat 7, which is also a VR game. So... I got mine in, I think it was like, it wasn't Black Friday, it was something to do with like E3 or something like that. And it had the mega pack, which had 5 games, and on top of that it had Super Stardust, Resident Evil 7, and Blood and Truth, which I haven't played yet, but at the time was like the #1 rated game in the charts, let alone VR game. £209 I paid for it. Yeah. Which, of course, you have to have a PlayStation on top of that, but if you've already got one...
and
brilliant.
I can see that being... Like, if I already owned a PlayStation, there would be a chance that I wouldn't mind taking a risk just to experience it, because I don't know anybody with a PlayStation or VR. So if I wanted to, if I was tempted to try it, I'd probably have to try it myself, like by buying it. And if I'd already had the PlayStation, at least I could think, well, if I don't like it, there's a good chance I'd recoup a large amount of my money back, like by selling it on type thing. So that wouldn't bother me too much. Or if I did it, it'd be real gimmicky. I'd use it like I'd use it when friends come over just to show it off to them. Like, but like that's the trouble is I'm not a PlayStation person, so the entry point, and that's what I mean is like, if you're already a PlayStation user, it's a great entry point, and I agree with you totally. But you know, Phil Spencer's already come out and said VR. They're not like for the foreseeable future. VR isn't an option for them. Nintendo, they do their own thing, as we all know. So the only way I'm
VR, though.
Yeah, with Labo. But again, you know, it's not
still
serious
VR.
VR.
It's shit, right? But it's VR.
By the way, do.
Yeah.
If anyone offers you the chance to play the Labo stuff, don't do it.
No.
It'll
put you off.
So crap.
Yeah, it is.
I can imagine.
For like a 30-second novelty, I mean, I bought it. It was only like 35 quid or something. I just enjoyed making them more than anything. But
yeah,
I played it once.
Yeah.
And I love VR stuff, as you know. It was so poor.
I can imagine.
It's awkward as well, Nick, because you're holding on to it.
Yeah,
You've got to hold it, and I don't get it.
It's very clever that they can do it, but it's so poor. Yeah. So if anyone offers you that,
it's a tech demo more than anything.
Yeah, it is, and like just don't. If anyone offers you that as your first experience, just don't do it because it'll put you off. Nauseous on it because it's got no tracking on it. It's awful.
The thing is while Microsoft are saying, you know, we're not going to do VR yet, it's not. But if it picks up enough and they can get away, like next gen, they'll have a console powerful. If the PlayStation can fucking do it, the Xbox, whatever, the next box will be able to do it. So they could turn around and say, we are doing it now. And I think that they would be daft not to be honest, especially as they got all their AR stuff and whatever else. As Moggy said here about Ad, aka Victor, being enthusiastic, is only ever enthusiastic about Christmas and VR. So is it right what he says? Would you be, if there was a Father Christmas VR game, would you enter the Matrix and never be seen again?
Yeah, gladly.
That's awful. Right, we've been going for about 20 minutes. We give it like a little bit more if you want, guys, or we can debut Ad's song and then move on to some Sonic talk. What do you think, guys?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
I think we all want to hear the song, don't we?
Yeah, well, make sure you got your shit open to listen then.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute us, guys. I'm going to mute us.
September, it's getting dark. It's Christmas time, the hype can start. You'll both vanish without a trace. It's time to get through, but it's been a race. Stolen emails on the mistletoe. That gift of USB gloves close. Kicks his email, Mrs. Claus. His love intentions, but she's out the door. No logo to mark the start of Christmas time. It means someone's missing, but I can't see. Jar was missing on Christmas Eve. Where did he go? It just starts again. Falling like snow. Was it something Pedz said? Someone check high would feel. It's where he was last seen. Even Secret Santa's thin on the cheer now. Come save Christmas, someone, somehow. No logo to mark the start of Christmas time. It means someone's missing, but I can see Jar was missing on Christmas Eve. Where did he go? It's just starts again. Falling like snow. Was it something Pedz said? Someone check Hyrule Field. It's where he was last seen. I can't remember a wetter December. Did we drive you away? Mark the games you play. He could clear a room with a sonic boom. He might be missing, but now you see White Jar was busy on Christmas Eve. That's where he goes, all around the world, deep in snow, giving gifts to boys and girls. Those games were not for him, they were gifts for you and me. And you see, Jar was Santa, he saved Christmas Eve. He saved Christmas Eve. He saved Christmas Eve. Now the snow's cleared, it's plain to see. Jar was Santa, it's clear to me. The gifts are yours, this song is mine. Wishing you a Merry Christmas time.
Well, that was really good. I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting not a disaster, but I was expecting you not to live up to the quality of last year, and I believe you very much did. That was
Thank you
really
very
fucking
much.
good. Like, especially like the you know, you can clear a room with a sonic boom, obviously because Jawa loves Sonic Boom, and then the stuff with Sonic with Hyrule Field. It's just really fucking well done, man. And obviously you've know Jawa enough to write the song. Like,
Yeah, it was supposed to be a lot funnier than that as well, and that seems to have sort of turned into some sort of bizarre love song.
yeah, it does. It does sound like you're really missing Jawa.
I know. It's supposed to sort of be like the thread of the story that the reveal is that Jar was Santa, and that's supposed to be like the funny payoff. But it was like 4.5 minutes or something. I get to the point, and the whole thing just seems to be like, "Come on, where'd you go, man? Where'd you go?"
You said Jawa has actually heard this. He was like, I'm not sure about anyone else, but he's the only person I know of who viewed the song before today from GRcade. What did he say about it, man?
He really liked it. I ran it by him. I write quite a lot of music, and I do it while I'm walking my dog. I write music in my head, and then I desperately try and remember it all the way back to get him and scribble something down before it disappears. And that was one of them. I was just sort
Do
of,
you know what would be a good
one of the-
idea? Take a pen and write it on your dog.
there'd be a labradoodle.
Fair play.
Yeah, I just had this little idea for it. I thought, well, I don't want to write something so directly about someone that they think they take it. The last thing you'd want is for someone to sort of see it as an horrible piss take or something. So I ran it by him, and then when I'd done it, I thought, well, so I sent him a link a week or so ago, I think. Yeah, he really enjoyed it, I think.
Oh, that's brilliant, man. No, I'm glad you liked it, and it does. It sounds a bit like it sounds a bit bad, like it's like this person who you really admire and love is not with you for Christmas, and like you said, it's meant to be really funny, but it just comes across as you really like this guy and are missing him.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds like you're pining for him.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just sitting there like.
I think I had a tear in my eye at one point.
Yeah.
Thinking myself into oblivion. Like, this girl.
Joe, I bet you've never wrote your wife a love song as so heart-filled as this.
I tell you what, I actually have.
Oh,
I-
Bill. Are we going to hear
And
that?
the thing is, I've never recorded any of this stuff. I used to record on my Mac, which I've long since ditched. I got this bit of software, so the only two things I've recorded on it were last year's song and this year's song, and I got my nice new guitar since then. So I'm using it's kind of practically to actually learn how to do it. So this one, I think I've nailed properly recording the nice sounds and stuff, whereas last year's was a bit kind of like I just plugged stuff into my computer. But I have written, I would say I think it's really, really, really good. But I don't think I can sing it. I'm terrible for doing that, writing stuff in keys and stuff that I just can't sing.
Auto tune all the way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't see the issue with your voice from what I've heard of it with the two songs. So, no, try it at least.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say you're very good at singing, and I think you should do more songs. I think we should have one for every forum member's birthday from now on. An individual song for every year for each person. And obviously, Boxing Day, you got to sing about boxing. A New Year's Day song. What else? Halloween
Easter.
song. Easter.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hanukkah.
Yeah.
All the main holidays.
Lent. Why not? Let's go for Lent.
Yeah. KK Day. That's it. Yeah.
Morgie says Jawa disappears and writes a song about him and insists he'd spoken to him. I think he killed Jawa in a slasher film style stalker obsession. I'm calling the police. KK Day, yeah, Klein Day.
Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Yeah.
How could I have killed him if I miss him so much? Checkmate.
We know Jawa's alive to see him on Twitch.
Yes.
Grum's right. I would love a song about sheep. Then again, all four of us here live in Wales, and I'm sure it's rubbed off a bit on Jenuall and Victor. So all four of us would probably love a song about sheep.
On anything, I think you're fine.
I saw him. I was driving past his house the other day. I know where he lives, and I'm sure I saw him rubbing up against a sheep. It wasn't actually a sheep. It was like a fleece blanket. It was that looked kind of like a sheep.
Trying to get his back legs into my wellies.
You know how it goes.
No, that was really cool, man. I really did enjoy that.
Oh, thank you very
That was
much.
awesome.
It's just a shame Jawa wasn't here to cry.
Yeah.
He's here in our hearts.
Yes.
He is here. No.
Always.
No, seriously, man. Well
Like,
done.
should I tell you what? It sounds like the tune. It sounds like the track, like the theme song to a movie. So now we just need the move. So we need to find a movie maker who can make this film, and we've already got the theme song for it. Like we've got the theme song for it. We just need to make the film now. We're doing it a bit backwards, but it can happen.
Who's gonna play Jawa?
Jawa himself.
No, he's too old to be on TV. We need someone a bit younger.
Need a
What
copy
about-
of, Java? Get Danny Dyer or something.
Yeah. Yes. Danny Dyer. So yeah, we'll use Danny Dyer as Pedz, as Jawa, and yeah, we can make the film. I think that's the next step. Next year, Christmas film.
blimey. That's Jawa's catchphrase.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. That's what he used to say a lot on his streams. Oh, blimey.
Back when he was alive, before Victor killed him.
Before the dark time.
Was that were they his last words before you snuffed him?
Oh, blimey. And the reason why Jawa was Santa is because after he murdered him, he dressed him in a Santa suit.
in
actual
some kind of
last
sick, in some kind of sick fetish, like.
his last words were actually, "Don't you think you could edit that down to 4 minutes 20 seconds? I think it's a bit long."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was really good, and I'm glad you chose the Twitch channel to decide to debut it to everyone.
That was great.
Well, you enjoyed it, and as promised, I must now do a mic drop. Go and make sure the patio hasn't got a lump in it from Java's body underneath, and take the dog out.
Well, thanks for tuning in, man. Well, taking part, and thank you for the wonderful song. I hope everyone
Yeah, no
enjoyed, and hopefully Jao will be back soon to take part in GRcade again, because he does have his little breaks, but you know, this one seems a bit longer.
Bastard's just trying to get a second tune, isn't he? I know he's gay. Next one will be like a
Jawa's back for Christmas, is it? Next year.
Jawa coming back. What bye 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 bye. What bye bye bye. Right. Anyway, I should be going now. So thanks for the chat, and I shall hopefully join you next time.
Nice one. We'll
if you're up for it next week, then by all means, that goes for anyone in chat as well. If you want to take part, all you need to do is drop us a PM and just say, "Hey, I want to take part," and I'll say, "No, for I am Lord and Master. I won't." I'll catch you later, Victor, man, and thank you very much again.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
dude.
Matt has rightfully said the podcast is now going to go downhill from here.
No. We're gonna have one of Jeff's songs. Where's Jeff's song? Let me bring up YouTube. Let me bring up YouTube. No.
Mario.
I am got my Twitch channel open. Let's if I can find the Twitch song. I'm not gonna do that. I everyone would leave.
I think you were being too lenient on the barrier for entry onto the Twitchcast there, Pedz. I think you should say everyone who wants to join needs to do their own song.
Yeah.
Where is it? Here is a lovely clip of Jeff singing a song.
There's a loving in your eyes all the way. If I listen to Pedz streams, would you say I'm a man without materia? I'm a man who doesn't know how to slot it in my kneecaps. You come and go, you come and go. Chameleon. You come and go, you come and go. Loving will be easy if my colours were like my dreams. Red 13 and green, red, gold and green. I do apologise in advance. I hope I didn't have that mic muted as well.
Jeff's great, man.
Yeah. It takes balls to do that on a forum where people are watching you, like, you know. Fair play.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it started with I was doing Twitch Sings, and I told Jeff to also do it, so we did.
Yeah.
I honestly, for the life of me, I can't sing myself, so I know exactly, like, I'm worse than Jeff. But what I was doing is I was doing monthly videos. When I would do my streams, I would finish them up at the end of the month, and I would take footage from it, I'd do a little kind of 5-minute review on them.
Yeah.
And after all that, at the end, I would put a duet from me and Jeff singing at the end.
Oh, would you?
Yeah. So I've only done it twice with Jeff and twice without. But yeah, it was awful. Pedz is the only Welshman that can't sing. This is true. So yeah, the next topic of conversation we were going to talk about is Sonic the Hedgehog. Because some of us like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Mm.
So what it is I wanted to really talk about is recently there's been a prototype found from what I read back in 1994 in the UK, I believe it was. There was a preview of Sonic 4 in the Sega magazine in the UK that went on sale on the 10th of December 1993, and they had an extensive preview of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I covered bits and bobs of the game, and someone from somewhere on the internet has basically tracked down a prototype that they basically used for that preview. So, like, I wanted to talk about that because there's actually quite a few changes in there. I think there's like different levels are shown. Some of the levels are slightly different. One thing, I was watching a video of the gameplay, and when Tails is holding, when Tails is being held, is holding Sonic flying, for example, in Sonic 3, he's solid. He's just there. Whereas in that, he swings back and forth when Tails is holding him, which I thought was really cool. And there's also the music is very different. Some of it, the music, I think, was rather similar to the PC version of the game that came out.
Yeah. So because they did the Sonic and Knuckles collection on PC, which came out, a while after the Mega Drive Genesis version, and most of the levels had different music, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is rubbish. Why have they changed the music?" Which is kind of one of the big things about Sonic 3 is that are there licensing problems with the music because there's all this talk about Michael Jackson being involved, and that's why they've never re-released it with the original music and all this stuff. And so people thought, oh, they just got some random composer to knock out these rubbish MIDI tunes for the PC version. But now this prototype has come out. People have finally sort of realised that these actually were originally the songs in
the game
Mega Drive version. Yeah, although they do sound a lot better on this prototype because they were obviously written for the sort of Mega Drive sound chip or whatever. Yeah, and they just sound a lot better than they do sound really sort of weedy and piddly on the sort of PC version. Whereas they're still not as good as the actual tunes, I don't think. But yeah, it's just really interesting that kind of everyone was always like, well, where the heck did all these songs come from? And now it turns out, well, they came from the original game.
Pugs is getting involved.
Yeah,
Pugs!
Pugs is not a fan.
No.
Pugs, we like Sonic. How dare you? The thing is with Sonic, like, I know things go missing, like Doctor Who is awful for shit being destroyed, like, but Sonic is one of the few games that I personally know of where they would take, like, I think it was Sonic 2 was like the furthest developed it was. They took that one cartridge places to demo it, and then it was nicked or went missing. So a lot of stuff was ended up not in the final game, including levels and stuff that were then in Sonic 3. Because
it's
shocking.
Yeah,
I don't understand how they can be so careless with it.
I think it's very different now, isn't it? With NDAs and very tight controls on stuff. But yeah, there's all sorts of stories of they just took a cartridge along to trade shows and there was obviously no security or whatever there, and someone just literally grabbed it and off you go. And I think I'm sure I was reading there's various countries where hackers or whatever they sold kind of these unfinished versions of the game. They just stuck a label on it, copied it off, shoved it on stores and said, yeah, there you go, there's Sonic 2. And people fork out for it and realize this is incomplete.
Yeah.
It's
like I'm looking now at Sonic 2. There's a zone called Wood Zone, isn't in the game. Hidden Palace, I don't think is in there. I think it's in Sonic 3, you know.
Yeah.
So
there's
quite a lot.
one of the more sort of famous lost zones because it's one of those. I mean, this is one of the things I'm well into Sonic, and I'm well into sort of Sonic prototype stuff. Like way back in the day, kind of one of the first things I kind of got into on the internet was reading up about Sonic 2 prototypes and getting involved in various forums and stuff to do with that. So yeah, I could bore people for a long time about prototype Sonic stuff. But yeah, Hidden Palace is one of the when you play Sonic 2, if you kind of go in the sound test, there's unused tracks in there, and even in the credits song, which plays at the end of Sonic 2, which is like a medley of all of the kind of zones from the game, which is they did the same thing in Sonic 1. Then you listen to the one in Sonic 2, and you kind of halfway through there's just a bit of music. It's like, well, where the hell's that come from? That wasn't in any zone.
Yeah.
And so people speculated for a long time. Oh, there must be a zone that was cut or whatever, and then hackers get involved, and there's various like Game Genie, those cartridges that you could sort of plug into your console and put codes in. There's people found, if you put this code in, you get it loads you into a kind of empty, garbled level, but you get kind of a title card comes up. It says Hidden Palace Zone, and so kind of for years, people knew there was this zone that should have been in there.
Yeah.
And then it turns up in Sonic 3 as kind of a key part of the story is you go to Hidden Palace Zone, and that's where all these emeralds.
If you look at these images that are on the site you linked me to earlier, hiddenpalace.org, some of the names are different. Like Aztec Zone is Neo Green Hill. I can't remember the name of the level, but it's called Dust Hill Zone on you.
So that's Mystic Cave.
Mystic Cave, that's the one. You've got a Genocide City.
Yeah.
Which isn't in the game at all.
No, which is because there's a whole bunch of different prototypes for Sonic 2, and if you kind of go in the level select for different ones, different levels appear, and the sort of suspicion is that Genocide is obviously not the best name for a level in a sort of kids game.
No.
And I think it's probably just some translation error. It's meant to obviously just be kind of shit's gone bad zone. Like,
yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Not quite as far as Genocide.
Genocide. But looking at this other one, which I think is an earlier date, it doesn't have Genocide. But again, Neo Green Hill Zone, Dusk Hill Zone, Green Hill Zone.
Yeah, Green Hill. So
Emerald Hill is Green Hill.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad they changed the name because Green Hill Zone and Emerald Hill are very, very different aesthetically.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But there's loads of cool stuff, and it's. I think you might be able to play some of it via emulators. Like I know, a few months back, we decided to do the whole retro thing where we talk about retro games after we played them. We haven't done it. We were supposed to be talking about Super Mario All-Stars and World this week, but Doom hasn't played them. Just Doom. I've
been busy preparing myself for other more important things. Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is obviously we're gonna try and get it done for next week. But where we talked about the first game we did, which was Terminator, the versus RoboCop.
There was an unreleased version for the NES, wasn't there?
Yeah, and that was a prototype, and you can play the ROM of that. I was playing it, and it's completely different to Terminator versus RoboCop and the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive.
It's got a great story.
Yeah,
it's got a great story behind it. Like that needs to be a movie.
Yeah, Terminator. There's an evil Terminator that gets sent back with the evil RoboCop that gets sent back with the Terminators, and then you were then like as RoboCop trying to sort shit out. But what happens?
Time traveling RoboCop.
Yeah, as I play. Well, I think that is a RoboCop 3, which is shit.
Yeah, that is horrible.
But as you're playing through it, you get to a point where you like jack in with your knuckle spike into this thing, but it's like a trap. So then all of a sudden you wake up in a new body that you've made for yourself, kind of, and then it's set in the future then, and you're all running around in the future. But that's as far as we got because it was fucking confusing.
Yeah,
the layout of the levels and stuff. So it's just interesting that these happen, and I'm hoping that I'm going to play a couple of these versions. But I
Yeah.
know that some of them, like Genocide City, the Image, even Death Egg Zone, is just a lot of boxes. There doesn't seem to be anything actually playable there.
Mm.
Yeah, so
I think
there's
even Hidden Palace was.
yeah, so there's a whole Sonic 2 is kind of one of the ones where there's a lot of different prototype versions of it. They kind of got, I don't know, maybe 10 of them by now. A lot of them are very similar. So there's a whole community around kind of looking at Sonic prototype stuff on the internet. And there's a bunch of guys that kind of go off to people. I don't know kind of where they're getting from, but obviously there's auctions happening. Kind of people go, oh, I've got kind of a bunch of stuff from this development office, and I'm just selling it off. And people go along and go, right, I think we might be able to get some decent stuff from here. So they grab it and they see what cartridges are in there and stuff, and they find kind of all these things, and they've got a whole load of.
That's how Kerr 9000 gets things cheap.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so they've got tons of these, and they're sort of different stages of development. So you can kind of go back to sort of the oldest ones of Sonic 2 are, and not to get sort of too technical, but people have hacked apart the ROM, and it's like, well, this is basically just Sonic 1 still, but they've fiddled with some of the art and kind of made it look a bit, so that you can see how they're sort of building on the first game and stuff like that. And then later ones, it's like, well, this is almost kind of the final game, but there's maybe a few, this sound effect's different, or there's a little tweak here and there. But yeah, it's if you go on kind of various websites, they've got sort of download links, and pretty much all of these ROMs that people find, you can download them and play them in kind of any emulator, and you can sort of explore for yourself sort of the differences between it. And it's kind of, I find this sort of thing fascinating, sort of seeing
No, it is really cool.
Yeah.
On here they've got quite a bit of Sonic CD as well.
Yeah, that's another one that's got various stages of development.
This has got the most on you. Jesus Christ. In the Sonic month 2019.
Yeah.
Got fucking 10 things, whereas the other ones have got like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Sonic Chaos have got quite I've got. I actually really like Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Chaos for the Master System. And people who don't like it don't deserve to play Sonic.
I don't mind the Master System games; they're pretty good. Although I think the first 8-bit one I played was Sonic 2 on the Game Gear instead of on the Master System, and the first boss.
It's fucking ridiculous, because it's all screen in it.
Yeah, you play it on the Master System, it's really easy. You play it on the Game Gear, and it's like, nah, first level you can't get past it, mate. Sorry.
No, it's fucking solid. It's the same with it's not like much a massive leap in difficulty, but Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Master System is more difficult than on the Game Gear, because the Game Gear version, when Robotnik's flying at the top of the screen, you just jump and hit him.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Master System version, he has to start coming down before you can reach him. So it takes longer. It's not more difficult, it's just longer then. Not as easy. But I thought we'd talk about the Sonic stuff, because I really like Sonic, and I know Doom's a big fan. Another thing that I noticed is there was stuff that came up for Lost. I think it was Lost DLC for Sonic Adventure. I never knew until this came up that there had been DLC for Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast.
No.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jasm about it, and he said that he had some, I think it was Christmas or Halloween or something stuff.
Yeah, they did. It's fairly small. It's like cosmetic stuff. It's so, what is it, Station Square? That first sort of hub. It's like you'll download this, what felt massive at the time. It might have been like a 5 meg file or something. You hook your Dreamcast up to your phone line and get your modem and all that we've put a Christmas tree in the corner, or we've changed the texture on the floor so it looks like snow, and it wasn't big DLC in terms of there's a whole new level kind of thing, but there was a whole bunch of these different sort of holiday themed, always a Christmas one.
Were they free or were they paid for?
I think they were free. I don't remember paying for it. I mean, certainly back that I wouldn't have stumped up for stuff back in the day, and I got a few of these things back on the Dreamcast.
It's pretty cool, like that. But even back then, they were doing stuff like that, and I think it's kind of cool that you can get DLC nowadays. But I think what I prefer is that kind of thing. It's just like a little reskin that's free than like 20 quid for a couple of hours extra kind of thing.
Yeah,
because a lot of the for me, a lot of the time when I play games with DLC, for me personally, it feels like they've held it back.
Yeah.
And then gone, I would sell it. Because especially when they're going, yeah, the game is nearly done. It'll be done in about 6 months. But we're already starting to work on the DLC. And it's like, what? You started to work on the fucking DLC?
I mean, you can get kind of why they do it in some, different teams work on different stuff. Yeah, if you got,
I get it, but at the same time, it just seems scummy to me.
There's always going to be a hint of cynicism.
Yeah,
it's just a cash grab. But back in the the day, if they had DLC in Sonic 2's time, then all these kind of cut levels probably would have been charged. Give us an extra 20 quid and you can play Hidden Palace Zone.
It would be cool if they found like everything about it. Like, no, I'm not saying like the entire thing, but they found all the information, the level design, and then someone recreated them. Like the people behind Sonic Mania, I'd say, because they got the physics right with Sonic. Like Sega made Sonic Generations, which I liked. I think it's good, but the physics were wrong. It wasn't like 2D Sonic was completely fucking wrong to play. Like, so if the people behind Mania were to get involved and actually somehow manage to bring those levels to us, like I'm not assuming it's going to be kind of like Wind Waker, where the dungeon that wasn't used, or dungeon or two, I think it was only one. The dungeon that wasn't used was used for different ideas in Twilight Princess. I'm assuming it's kind of like that, like they brought Hidden Palace to Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
They obviously sort of not recycled. Thought we had this good idea, finish it. Let's pull it forward for the next game, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it's interesting you're saying about kind of the guys who did Sonic Mania. So I don't know if you've played the mobile ports of Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. Because the same guys who did Mania did these sort of ports a few years back, and one of the things they did do, because these are guys who are Sonic fans kind of for life, and so they're people who are on the forums that I used to go to back in the day, kind of talking about all these prototypes and stuff. And so in the Sonic 2 Android and iPhone version that came out sort of 5 years ago, they have put a sort of a completed version of Hidden Palace in the game, as a sort of a nod to the fans.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so because a lot of the art, if you go back and look at some of the older prototypes, the art is kind of still in the game, and some of the layout is there. So they kind of taken what was there and sort of finished it off effectively, which is really cool.
I don't know if it's every year, but I know they do like a Sonic mod thing, Sega do, and I think last year, me and Jasm, I think it was last year or the year before, were talking about it, and he streamed a couple of the games. One of them, I think, was Sonic 06 for the PC, and I think there's like a couple of them in development. There's one of them. I think one of the games that was shown is technically not a Sonic game, but it was called Kyle and Lucy or something. Yeah, Kyle and Lucy, and that looked good. There was also Sonic Advance Revamped, which looked good, and then there was Sonic Chaos as well, and something called Super Mario Flashback, which was looked really cool. But then I didn't play it. I saw Jasmine play it, but he got locked in a soft lock area, and it was like gay baby jail or something, and I was just like, what the and it's supposed to be some kind of meme, but it just sounds stupid and crass to me. But oh god, that was weird. But visually it looked really nice and stuff. But I don't know if they do it yearly. Do they? Do you know? Someone's very important today.
I know, my phone's constantly pinging.
Check him out.
I was going to say, I always mute mine. I'm going to check before I say it.
I'm going to have to mute mine. Oh, jeez.
I wanted to quickly check first.
So I think that's the Jasmine's saying there in the chat. Yeah, Sonic after Game Expo. I think they do it every year, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that comes out of that.
Yeah, I think that's where was that where they first showed Sonic 2 HD.
So the other thing they do is in this sort of fan community, they have a sort of regular hackathon type awards as well, where people do like ROM hacks and all that sort of thing. So the community around it are always kind of doing interesting things. And I think Sonic 2 HD was shown in kind of some of this fan stuff.
Do you know if does anyone at all know if there are any plans at all for Sonic 1 and 2 on phones to get a release on a console or PC?
The ports they did for 1 and 2.
Yeah, because from where I view it, they're like the best versions of the game, and they're stuck on a fucking mobile.
As far as I know, they are just on it. So it's really annoying. So the guy, Chris Whitehead.
Christian Whitehead, yeah.
Yeah, and Headcanon. So the two guys that in this kind of fan community for years, and they both kind of worked on separate sort of hacks and ROMs and kind of their own engines and stuff. And so the ports that they did run on the thing called the Retro engine, which kind of has been, so I don't know, it's on version 5 or something now, but kind of, those mobile ports run on exactly the same engine that Mania runs on. So Mania is basically just on a newer version of their same engine. It's like, so there is no reason why they couldn't bring those versions on to different platforms, onto the consoles and PC and stuff. But yeah, they're kind of just stuck on mobile at the moment, which is slightly frustrating. And also, Sega did a slightly annoying thing. You used to be able to buy them for, I don't know, £1 or whatever on Android and iPhone. But then when they did the Sega Ages, they started kind of releasing, we're going to sell a whole bunch of our old games and stuff. And they sort of rebadged these really good versions under that banner. So instead, you can get it for free now, but it's kind of ad supported. And it's like, well, you had this really nice product that everyone loved, and you sort of tried to shoehorn it into this other thing you're doing, and kind of made it a bit worse, which was annoying. But yeah, I don't know why they released them on more platforms. And also, people still keep asking the question, well, why haven't they done Sonic 3? Because 1, 2, and CD kind of all got this treatment, and then 3 was just kind of left as the sort of elephant in the room.
So basically, Air is the way to play it?
Air is so I've been playing Air recently on streams, and because Sonic 3 I loved back in the day, but I haven't played it for years, mainly because
Sonic 3 and Knuckles is my favourite of the series.
Yeah. So I would have said that back in the day, and I think I'm not so sure anymore. But I still think I think all of the Mega Drive games are brilliant. But I've not played it for years because I was like, right, soon they're going to do a mobile port of this. I'm not going to go back and play it on an emulator or anything. I'll wait for them to do this because it'll be nice, kind of high resolution and 60 frames per second constantly, and no slowdown, and widescreen support and all that. And then they just never did it. So recently playing Air, it's kind of the first time I've gone back to that game for years. But it's as far as I am aware, it's one of the ways to play it. There are other sort of fan conversions and updates that people have done. There's a thing called Sonic 3 Complete as well, which is a similar kind of exercise. But yeah, Air is a great way of playing Sonic 3 if you want to play it now.
Yeah. I was watching someone stream, Jeff Yard. He regularly pops in. He was here earlier. He was playing a game called Sonic 2. I think it was Sonic 2 before the sequel and Sonic 2 after the sequel. I think they were made by the guy who ended up doing Spark the Electric Jester. Which I've played some of Spark the Electric Jester, and I actually think that's really fucking good. So, I can see why they are held up in high regards as very good Sonic mods. Because I was looking at a list of really good ones to Jeff, because I was like, he likes to play Sonic a lot. I was like, oh, I'll have a look. I'll have a look. And I did suggest some to him, but I can't remember what they are. But have you played those games? Because it's set like just before Sonic 2, before the sequel. And I think it's like kind of how Tails and Sonic came to be together for Sonic 2, and then obviously after the sequel is for Sonic 3 and after Sonic 2.
Let's not get into any kind of fan shipping stuff here. When you say Sonic and Tails get together, we're not talking romantically here.
No. No. It's before they become, because like the story behind Sonic and Tails originally, I think, was just like Tails would just start following him around. Sonic's like, fine, whatever. I don't know if that's the official Japanese story or the American one or comic one. No,
it was interesting with the Sonic stuff where there's kind of two histories for it. With the original Japanese story, which is quite simple. There's a bad guy called Eggman, go off and stop him, and then the Americans are like, no, we need a bit more stuff going on. We need to like chili dogs and all this nonsense. Hey, whatever.
The one thing I don't like about Sonic that has always been a thing is it's in the Japanese one. It's always been on Earth. There's always been other people that you've never seen them, and Eggman doesn't exactly look human. But then Sonic Adventure's like all people around, and he was just like, no, this isn't right, man. This is not right. And even I know it's Mario, but Mario Odyssey, when they showed that, and Mario was running around in basically New York, I was like, this isn't all right. and I had the same exact feeling of playing Sonic Adventure 1 to seeing that. I was like, nah, man.
No. Yeah, I felt exactly the same way. Sort of playing Sonic Adventure when that first came out. It's like, what's going on here? And it's the fact there's no explanation for it as well. It's not like they try to come up with an in-universe. Oh yeah, he's travelled to the real world, or now it's like, nah, this is it. Just deal with it, which is fine. But it is a bit weird. It's like there's no one question why there's this giant anthropomorphic hedgehog running around, jumping.
Maybe it's a man in a suit, and that's what it was. Originally, it's just a man in a blue suit, which is why in the Sonic movie they went for a guy in a suit look.
That's it. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
No, we know the true story behind Sonic the Hedgehog suit.
Meow.
So, Jenuall, which
Yes.
do you prefer? Super Mario, Sonic?
Ooh. So, 20 years ago, if you ask me that question, actually no, 20 years ago, Sonic Adventure was out. 25 years ago, basically, if we're talking 16-bit, the big console wars of the playground when I was a kid, Sonic all the way. I didn't have any Nintendo consoles, so I only ever played kind of Super Mario Brothers on kind of friends' machines. It's like, this is fun, but why is it so slow? And all that. That's all the justification you need for it to be worse back in the day.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. But I think if you look at sort of total, if you say, right, this is the sum of all the games that have got Sonic in, I think it's hard to say that Sonic's winning.
Are you insinuating that Sonic 06 isn't one of the best games ever made?
I mean, it's up there, but
and that it deserves a remake in its entirety.
I mean, they couldn't do it any worse, surely.
One thing I will say about Sonic 06, awful game. I found it was a good game to stream.
I think that's a fair point. It's found its niche. Finally.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those games that is meant to be very fun to speedrun.
It's the kind of game that
you break so much shit in there. Kind of like Sonic Boom, where you just jump with Knuckles up into the air and skip the entire level.
if you enjoy punishing yourself, so if you basically, I think the problem with Sonic 06 is they went for a different audience. They didn't go for the average Sonic audience. They realized there was a niche in the market, and they went, how do we please the sadomasochists? And they were like, right, so that's the problem, is we're looking at this game from regular Sonic fans, and they looked at it from, well, I think we need to cover cover this niche in the market. No one else is doing it. So basically, I think it's a game that if you enjoy punishing yourself for pleasure, it makes sense. So basically, the game, if you're a sadomasochist, it's game of the decade, century.
Yeah,
So,
it delivers big time.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is
we're misjudging it.
So what you're saying is Sonic is for sadomasochists. People who speed
Sonic
run
06.
it. Sonic 06 is for sadomasochists. People who speed run Sonic 06 are sadomasochists, but they don't like being tortured for too long.
Sadomasochists who just want to get to the point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
You know, it's like they'll say no to the nipple clamps, and they want to go straight for the big thing that's going to be inserted into them, basically. So yeah.
Wow.
They want to have a heel on their wiener.
Yeah. Basically.
Which is right? This is for both of you then. Which is your favorite Sonic game that you've played, except for Sonic 06? Because we know that would be top of the list.
So for me, it would be just because it's the one that I kind of had the best memories of growing up. I played Sonic as a young kid, 4 or 5, when I was given me and my brother were given a Mega Drive for Chris. I think it was one of the Christmases back in like the early 90s. So I got a lot of just sitting with my brother on the TV, take like one of us controlling Sonic, the other one I think controlling Knuckles, with, if I was right, or I used to sit there, and my brother's autistic, but he's very good at computer games, so I usually just sit there and watch him play Sonic because he was so good at it. He was very good at Mario as well, but yes, he was very, very good at Sonic. So I used to sit there and just watch him, and so I got good memories of that. But the one that has given me the greatest pleasure is Sonic Adventure 2 for the GameCube. The Chow Garden. I probably spent more time in the Chow Garden than I have done on all Sonic games combined. Actually playing, it's amazing. I love the Chow Garden, and I really enjoyed Sonic Adventure 2. I've got to be honest. Like, I blew my mind when I saw Shadow. I was like, what is going on? Like, when I was like 12, 11, 12, when that game came out, I was like mind blown. And yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, for me, it's probably Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, I mean, well, Shadow is obviously the world's most advanced life form.
Obviously,
would be blown away by
the
it.
issue I have with Shadow is
he's the kind of guy who would enjoy Sonic 06.
See, the thing I have an issue with Shadow, out of many issues, is in Sonic Adventure 2. Turns out he was a prototype for the Ultimate Life Form, and the Ultimate Life Form was something else. And then I believe, retconned that in Shadow the Hedgehog, where he is the Ultimate Life Form. And he's also working for some weird demons. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I am planning on streaming that next month for Shadow the Hedgehog, so...
I'll be up for watching that.
Yes.
So.
Better be good.
I mean, continuity wasn't a big thing back in the day.
So, what about you then, Jenuall? If you don't say Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I'm banning you from life.
So the question is, what was my favorite Sonic game?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it would be the kind of 2D 16-bit stuff. That was so like Doom saying, I really Sonic Adventure 2, and yeah, sort of talking about the Chow Garden there. I remember really spending a lot of time on the Chow Garden, and kind of this is all before the days of achievements and stuff. But I remember going in there, and there's all these different sort of not evolutions, but you can kind of breed and sort of shape your different chows, and you get evil
and if
ones
you had like
and
a
nice
dark
ones.
and a light one, if they breed, they'd form some type of like in between one.
Yeah. And I love the way it was kind of they.
So basically, your favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game is the Chow Garden.
I love the Chow Garden. So
I love the Chow Garden. I spent fucking hours on it.
Yeah. Forget Sonic. You don't need it.
Fuck the actual game. Just give me the Chow. Give me my gold Chow, man.
I did. So it's Sonic Adventure 1. I thought, well, this is... But I remember being really impressed when 2 came along. Part of it was probably a bit of kind of what's the term when you get sort of taken hostage and you eventually sort of give in to your captor and start to love them.
Stockholm.
Stockholm. I think there might have been a bit of that, but I thought that they got things right that Sonic Adventure 1 got kind of wrong. And certainly the Sonic levels, I think, in Sonic Adventure 2 are really good.
They won't bring back the Chow Garden because they don't need to, because Omo Chow is always there for us. I like the silence. No one knows how to answer that. No one knows how to follow up that. That was such a statement. Omo Chow is always there.
Omo Chow. Yeah, that is quite scary. Anyway, so I would say, Sonic 2 is probably my favorite. 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, I think, are all pretty high up. But
what about CD?
If I was to pick one of them, it would be 2. See, I'm not. CD is nice, but I think it's a lot more of a mess than the others, and you can tell it wasn't, because it was made by kind of a different team, effectively. Kind of one team went off to America to do Sonic 2, and another team stayed in Japan to do Sonic CD. And I just don't. The levels are all over the place. The time travel mechanic's kind of fun, but it doesn't work that well.
I think what they went for with Sonic CD is a bit more exploration. And
yeah,
I think
they did.
I think Sonic and Mario, like my preference for those games is the 2D games or the 3D games that are not quite so moiled with Mario, because I like the linearity. I don't like the big exploration shit because I find it just detracts from the fun of the platforming. And I find that, like, even Super Mario World, which kind of had like little bits of branching paths for secrets, it was still not like massive exploration. And I like that. And like people are like, oh, but Super Mario 3D World was just not open world enough. It was basically 2D. And I'm like, yeah, good. I like it. I like the way you played. It felt nice to play. It's what Mario should be. If I was going to play GTA where I jump around, I'd play Crackdown.
I do think, Sonic CD is a bit more kind of exploration. I just don't like. I think the levels aren't as good. It's still better than a lot of what came after Sonic. I don't know why they abandoned the 2D style so readily when it was doing so well, but yeah, I'd say 2's the best. 1, 3, and Knuckles are very close, and then kind of everything else. Not quite at the same level for me. Although I do enjoy some 3D. I've still got a soft spot for adventure. I went back through Sonic Adventure 2 not that long ago, and I thought, actually, do you know what? This is still great. And Generations is all right, but
am I right in saying I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to flag a little bit now, because I think the lack of sleep has started to catch up on me a bit now, but am I right in saying that something was mentioned about Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 kind of being remastered and put on Switch?
I haven't heard anything about that.
I'm convinced. I've convinced myself now that I've seen, read, or watched something about it where, like, I'm convinced. Oh my god, that's gonna wind me up now. I'm gonna Google this. Sorry, I'm convinced I read something about it.
Let's face it, everything else has been ported to Switch, so
Yeah.
I'm
sure
sorry.
there was talk of it.
Matt, to answer a question you asked earlier, we did talk about Doom's High Seas Adventure. We don't mean he was pirating off the internet. We mean he was playing Sea of Thieves 24 hours solid.
Yes.
And we're all very impressed.
My favorite Sonic game is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I say game, and it's 2 games, but they meant to be 1 game, so fuck you all.
Yeah, no, they are. And again, going back to the prototype, there's kind of all sorts of evidence and kind of the thing people were hoping for. So kind of this Sonic month they've done recently, kind of the last game, the last prototype they sort of released from that was a Sonic 3 prototype. And there's hardly any Sonic 3 prototypes, which is kind of really annoying, because it's one of the ones people are most interested in sort of the development of. It's like, how long were they trying to make it one big game? When did they realize kind of they needed to split it, and sort of how far had they got with different levels? But yeah, if you look at the prototypes that are out there, kind of some of the zones that are in Sonic and Knuckles, and then obviously the combined Sonic 3 and Knuckles, are in kind of the early versions of Sonic 3, and actually quite finished as well. There's not that many changes from them to how they ended up. But yeah, it is one game. It's definitely one. You can
Exactly.
definitely get away with that.
I think the one I like least is Sonic 06.
No,
You're not
sure.
sadomasochist enough. Man.
No, that is an awful game. Like I played Sonic Boom, and it's
Try
very
try
different.
playing it.
Like, but
So here's a different angle. Try playing Sonic 06 with a ball gag in your mouth, with your wife whipping you, and it will make sense. I promise you, it will make sense. If you've got it, wear a gimp mask. You just need you need that something extra, and I promise you, it fulfills a spot.
If he's got
Doom,
it. Of course he's got
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Would you like to see some of the Gala Pokemon in the new Strokemon film?
Oh, yes. Of course I would.
Gala wheeze in, is it?
Oh, that would. I want to see that. Just see how they logistically are going to work that, because, like, I'm going to say it. The Strokemon parody is beautiful in its own special way.
What about the
Very,
Pikachu?
very special way. Yeah, Dickachu is. I'm not going to lie. It's the stuff of nightmares. Shall I tell you what we should have done before doing the 24-hour stream? Seen a picture. We should have watched that just for Dickachu, and 24 hours would have gone easy. That's just gone.
You'll struggle to sleep again.
We'd be scared to sleep. Yeah, Dickachu is the stuff of nightmares, and if you type Dickachu in, nothing pops up. You actually have to find Strokemon, which is on any
naughty site,
adult special interest website of choice, and just watch it for Dickachu, and you'll understand.
I think
you'll understand.
If you type that in and something does come up, you've got a problem.
Yeah, it's they even went to the effort of parodying the theme song, and it's genuinely funny. Like, I was like, I ended up I didn't watch the whole thing, but I ended up watching it, kind of reviewing it rather than anything else. Like, I was like, you know what? They've put some effort into this. I can get behind the level of creativity here. So
you're trying to frame it as research.
Yeah. Trying to.
Yeah, most watched. It's up there with the most watched. But yes, it's you know, if they do Gala forms, I'd be up for seeing Strokemon too.
Yeah.
See how they can do that one.
One thing I wanted to say is with a lot of the stuff that I've seen pop up recently is with Sonic, because that's what we were talking about, not dirty porn. Is like Sonic Extreme and all that kind of stuff, and
is that a porn? Is that a porn movie?
It is not. I think is called something probably even more gross. No, I was thinking about Sonic Jam, because
Sonic Jam. Now that's a porn movie.
Well, Sonic has sex with people who are constantly on. Right.
Yes.
So basically, Sonic Jam, I remember playing it a lot back on the Saturn, because my friend had it. I have it now.
Because there was nothing else to play on the Saturn.
No, it was really cool though, because it was basically Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and Knuckles. Memory's correct. I think Knuckles. Yeah, because you could select between whether you played Sonic 2 and Knuckles, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, or Sonic's Blue Balls. Which obviously everyone plays with Sonic Blue Balls. Yeah, it's called Sonic's Blue Balls.
I hope to God. I hope to everything that it is.
It's called Blue Spheres.
No, okay, Sonic's Blue Spheres.
Sonic's Blue Balls. Now that's a porn movie.
But what I liked about it was the actual Sonic Jam art.
You enjoyed the jam part of Sonic's Jam, did you?
I did, yeah. I also liked Sonic 1 in there because you had the spin dash.
Yes. Yeah, that was cool.
which you didn't have obviously in Sonic 1. But I like the Sonic Jam, but you have to do like little tasks in this tiny little environment. But you would also get like a museum and stuff where you could see like Sonic CD's intro, that kind of thing, and it would give you information about the characters, like Sonic 1. It would tell you like Sonic's age. He was 15, Knuckles was 16. It told you Tails' IQ.
Now let's.
So what you're saying is they're all underage.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think Amy's meant to be like 11 or 12.
Oof.
And I think it was your fault who pointed out to me before when Sonic Adventures in my channel, people request songs and Amy's song was playing, and there's a lyric in there about Amy shaving a beaver. And he's saying it's gross because she's like 11 or 12.
Bloody hell.
It's like, what? I think, it's weird, man.
So I'm not far off by saying Sonic Jam is actually some kind of weird porn movie.
No. Sonic Jam is a Sega Saturn game, and it was rather good. Like I said, the theater bit was cool. The museum bit where you'd get information about the characters. Yeah.
Yeah, the sort of little Sonic. I can't remember what they call it now. The little world running around, but it is quite fun. And there's like little challenges you can do. It's like how can you run around, collect these rings or whatever in a certain amount of time, and
you'd
that was a
occasionally
lot of
see
fun.
Tails flying about, and you jump and you grab onto your hand, and you'd hold on and just fly for a little bit. Couldn't do anything, but it was fun to do. Being a child and naive and stupid.
Yeah, Sonic Jam was a good sort of early compilation.
Yeah.
Sort of for the Sonic games. I mean, ultimately, I think it's 97 by that point. It's like, well, we've had almost a whole sort of generation of Sega console, and we've not bothered to put a proper Sonic game out. Let's just re-release the old ones.
Yeah, I with the Saturn, it's actually really disappointing because Sonic was such a big title on the Mega Drive. Or Genesis, if anyone's from America and is listening. And then you have the Saturn, where it seemed to be issues from the sounds of it between a lot of the time between Sega of Japan and Sega of America not agreeing on. And also, when I was looking at some information about some games the other day, is it Yuji Naka, the guy behind Sonic originally?
Yes, he's one of the key people.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of issues with certain things, so a lot of the games didn't end up getting made him well, I think. So, because of that, like the Sega Saturn comes out, it's not exactly doing great, and then it hasn't got its flagship title either. It's like the Xbox coming out next gen, they're going, we're not releasing any Halos.
Yeah. And
no Halos for you.
Cares.
We're going to have a shit game called D instead.
Yeah.
I didn't like D.
You didn't like D or the D?
No, I didn't like. I love the D. I'm a heterosexual man, but I love the D. But the game D, I just didn't like it.
Because they did. There's a whole bunch again of like prototypes of Sonic games they tried to make on the Saturn. So Sonic Extreme, and they were sort of like weird.
Which was an X-Stream.
Yeah, of course, because it was the 90s. Either. I mean, you can play some of these prototypes, and they are right. I don't know if because they had on the Saturn, there was a game called Bug. I don't know if you ever played that. It was a platformer, but it was 3D, but it was really kind of, playing it in 2D. And it was kind of Sonic Extreme sort of looked a bit like that, where you're sort of kind of going along paths, and it's all in 3D, but really you're not moving in 3D. But yeah, it just looks rubbish. And I don't think any of the, like say, Yuji Naka original team, they were obviously off doing way more important things like Nights into Dreams and all that stuff. It is a bit weird that they never quite got us. And I think they probably, they were sucked into the whole. Oh dear. The idea of we've got to do something in 3D. which obviously PlayStation's come out and it's all these amazing 3D games, and it kind of that makes sense that that's what you chase after. But kind of Mania has kind of come out and proved that you could have just done a really good, better, well not necessarily, a more advanced version of the thing you did. On the Mega Drive, and it would have been great.
Whoa! Have we forgot about Sonic 4?
Wow. I tried to forget about Sonic.
I think the issue is at the time as well is obviously when
Sonic...
the N64 came out and they released Mario 64. That's them staking a claim, like, because up to that point, well, not up to that specific point, but obviously the battle between Mario and Sonic during the Mega Drive era and that, one of them needed to stake, draw their line in the sand and kind of go, "Well, come at me," type thing, and that's kind of what Nintendo did with Mario 64. They drew the battle lines, and like in hindsight, we can look back and say maybe they should have just continued to do 2D games, and maybe they would have done. But at the same time, if they don't push it, then they would almost, I guess, back then. Yeah, they would almost look cowardly in the fact that they're not willing to try and make because let's be fair, before Mario 64 came out, if somebody said to you, we're going to make a 3D Mario game, like, and it's going to be well, at the time, it's going to be amazing, you probably wouldn't believe them and think they're talking out their arse, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
hey, I wouldn't have believed them after playing Mario 64 when I first played it, because I fucking hated the game.
yeah.
I've stated it plenty of times. When I first played Mario 64, I fucking hated it. My exact words to my friend when I played it was, "This is not fucking Mario."
Yeah, yeah. But I think I get why people. 2D Mario is an amazing thing. And 3D Mario, like Mario 64, Galaxy, even it's very different. Yeah. But Nintendo obviously sat down and said, "Yeah, we're going to go 3D." Yeah. What is a Mario game in 3D? We can't just do the same thing, go from A to B, kind of jump it. And so they obviously thought, how do we translate Sonic? Yeah. They didn't sit down and think.
They didn't sit down.
they just said, "Yeah, got to go fast." Yeah. Let's put some humans in there.
I think that's one of the things I actually read about Sonic is because of Sonic's speed, they have to add a load of other shit into the games because otherwise the games would be very short and over very quickly. Something like that, because he's so fast, they have to make these either really daft levels or add in other characters to play as, or add in stupid gimmicks like fucking Wayhog, which means man-hog, and he doesn't turn into a man, he turns into a fucking wolf. So it'd be a hog wolf.
Remember, he's a man in a blue suit.
Oh yeah, good point. His suit turns into the wolf part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think if you know what you're doing, obviously in the old Sonic 1, you do it in an hour, probably. There's nothing to it. But then again, if
I think on the Xbox 360 there is an achievement for finishing Sonic in an hour. There's also an achievement for finishing the game without dying.
Yeah, which is again not that hard.
There's some levels which are a bitch, like the labyrinth zone.
You just need to get good.
I don't want to get good. I'd rather get good at a better game like Mario 1.
Yeah.
On the topic of me thinking that the adventure games are coming to Switch, they're not confirmed, but basically the guy who's in charge of Sonic Team.
I wouldn't trust Sonic Team.
No, but the guy in charge of Sonic Team said that they want to port them to the Switch, and there were rumors during one of their investors meetings. There was like someone got hold of the notes from one of their investor meetings, and the topic was brought up. So nothing's confirmed, but to be fair,
it's something that I talked about. Like,
there's enough people wanting those games to be on the Switch. And let's be fair, if they release like a 2-game bundle, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, like I say remastered, obviously, like to push 720p or whatever, like just smooth them out a bit and put them on the Switch.
They're on the PC, they're on the Xbox. Yeah. With a slight bit of modding, you can run Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 at 4K.
Yeah, like they're not, it would sell very well on the Switch, and I would buy that. I'd be well up for buying that. So, and let's be fair, if they really wanted to go all out, like they could really push the Chow Guards, and then they could bring like all online features into it, and you know, it's not outside the realms of possibility.
One
Where
thing
like
that,
you could meet other Chows using the online connection or something.
One,
you know,
one thing I liked about what was it called? Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube version with Chow Garden. You had GBA connectivity.
Yeah.
And you could take a Chow for a little walk.
Yeah.
yeah, and you could connect it to the Sonic Adventure game, the Sonic games on the GBA. What were they called? Sonic
Sonic Advance.
Sonic Advance, because they had Chow Garden, and I believe you could transfer between, so you could take your GameCube Chow, your Adventure Chows on your GBA, and have them in your Chow Garden there, and then do you know what I mean? You can move them around and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite fun. That's what they need to put the focus on, the Chow Guard. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think because Pedz says they've ported it. You know, it's on PC. It's on other platforms. I don't think it'd be a huge amount of work. And if they, like you say, package it up as a 2-game bundle or whatever, sell it for a decent price. Don't try and go 50 quid please. Then they'll get plenty of takers, I would imagine.
If they bundled 1 and 2 together and they maybe released it for like $18.99, that kind of price.
I don't know. If you I know you rather have it on the Switch. If you go on Humble Bundle right now, I have a partner link on my Twitch channel if you want to use that, which means I get something for it. But if you go on to Humble Bundle now, there's a Sonic Bundle, which I'm not sure how much it is. I think it's like $10. Might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less. I can't remember exactly. And you get Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And a lot of other shit. I'll tell you exactly what it is now. Cough, cough, cough. Sonic Adventure Bundle, you get for $10, you get Sonic Forces, Sonic Mania plus the Encore DLC, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episodes 1 and 2, Sonic Generations, Sonic Lost World, Sonic Adventure DX, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and Sonic CD.
Right. Sorry, there's no deal. There's no Sonic 06. I'm no deal. Not interested.
Sonic 06 isn't on the PC, so you'll have a job.
Well, they need to fix that.
Sonic 06 is only on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox.
That needs to be fixed then. It's a deal breaker until Sonic 06 is in the bundle.
But what I'm saying is for $10, which is roughly, I think, £7.
Cheap,
For £7, you can get Sonic Mania, Sonic Mania's DLC, Sonic Forces, and the 2 adventure games. And those, the reason why I say those Mania, DLC, and Forces, because they're the newest Sonic games.
Yeah.
That came out last year.
What's Sonic Adventure DX then?
It's the GameCube version of Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure Director's Cut DX, I think it's called.
Yeah. Did they release the Sonic Adventure 1 on the GameCube then?
Yeah. It came out after Sonic 2. It was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and then like a year later they did Sonic Adventure Director's Cut DX, which
then,
added some stuff, I think.
As a lot of the guys in chat know, obviously I've got a growing GameCube collection and collection of literal GameCubes. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 GameCubes.
Have any of you seen his Optimus Prime GameCube?
Yeah, I had that custom made.
That was fucking lovely. I was talking to the guy, and I'm looking to get one done myself. No, not Optimus Prime. Not because I don't like Optimus Prime, but I would rather get like Starscream if I was to go for a Transformer.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm at the point now where I could start building another house out of my GameCubes. And let's be fair, we all know how much of a weapon can be used with those handles. Anyone, some people sleep with a baseball bat near their beds. I've got GameCubes.
See, the issue I've got,
I can dual wield them. I can dual wield them and just windmill at people. Nobody's coming near me.
The issue I've got is with your custom Optimus Prime one, is I don't believe you had your or a Game Boy player with the same color scheme. So if you were to add one on, it would be wrong.
True, but I've already spoken to him about that, and he said, because I've got a Game Boy player, I've got
Nice.
2 Game Boy players actually, and I've got a couple of spare controllers. He said if you want to send those, I'll take them apart, spray them, and send them back to you with the right colors as well. So
Awesome. That is fucking sweet.
yeah. Also, he's modded the controller ports with blue lighting for me. So when I turn the GameCube on, the controller ports light up blue. And the orange light on the top, the light that says it's on, that's also blue as well now. So, yes.
Oh, like you, Andy.
I'll happily trade it for a Panasonic Q.
Nope.
So,
nope. I was looking on eBay. They go for about 600 quid now.
yeah, seriously, one day I'm owning one. Like, that's basically the last thing I need to have a complete GameCube collection. So,
Ain't having mine.
yes.
Mine
But
is
yes,
lovely,
anyway, back
lovely tucked up upstairs away. I don't want it to be tucked up upstairs. I want it to be out, but I'm just gonna want to put it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, going back to the Sonic talk, yes, I'll definitely. So, is it called Sonic Adventure DX?
Yeah, that's the GameCube.
That's the GameCube.
Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna find that, and that's gonna be added to my current GameCube collection. So yes.
Well, I think we've talked a bit about Sonic now, but I believe Doom wanted to talk about Stadia and xCloud. I'm not sure what you can say about xCloud because I'm not like when I had the invitation, I literally just went accept, and I didn't read anything. I don't know if there's like an NDA or anything, so but I still like to hear what you want to say about Stadia because if you were to mention it again, maybe you have something right there or good.
No. So with xCloud, there's not really a lot to say about xCloud apart from I've tried it and it seems interesting. I need to try it a bit more. I'm like the last like week or so, I really haven't had a chance to do much of it. I've tried fitting it in, and I've just I've been preparing for the stream obviously the other day, and I've been working, so it's been a little tricky for me to fit anything in. And honestly, Pokemon's taken over a large portion of the time that I've got left.
So mention the P word. Victor will be very angry.
So it seems interesting, but I have a proper opinion on it. I can't really say much more about it. But just coming up to the Stadia thing, again, I haven't got loads to say about it, but I found it very interesting. They've been. I'm not sure if anyone's aware. So obviously we know Stadia's got a lot of problems. Essentially, it's not ready.
What problems? I haven't really heard much about it. I've heard it's going quite well, flawless victory and everything.
Yeah, flawless victory. So as we know, it's basically a service that wasn't ready, but it was rushed out anyway, and there were problems where people had received their pre-order of the controller and the Chrome the Chrome what's it called?
Chromecast.
Chromecast Ultra.
The Ultra, that's it. Chromecast Ultra. So they received all that, and then on the day that they were meant to be able to play it, they had to have a code emailed to them. Some people weren't, so to activate it. So people who had pre-ordered months ago received their physical items, plugged everything in, still couldn't play it because their email hadn't come through, and some people had to wait 3 or 4 days after the actual release date to get their codes to actually start playing their Stadia. So there's one major problem there. Obviously, the other problem is that they're charging $150 or £150, whatever it was, to essentially be an early adopter, like an early beta tester. Really, it's not ready at all in terms of that. People were saying that the gaming on it is very hit and miss. Some people have said it's fine, it works well. Other people said no, had real problems, but maybe that's a connection problem. You know,
Yeah, I've heard that like some people have had some good time with it, like very little delay and stuff. But
but the problem is everything starts to get worse. Like now that it's out there. So off the top of my head, so what is one of the biggest features that they're talking about with Stadia? It's no updates, right? No updates. You just turn it on. One guy, admittedly, it's only been the thing, but the screenshots were taken, and they are legit screenshots. They're not doctored. The guy went to go on his Stadia, went to go and play NBA 2K20, clicked on the game, and it said, "Sorry, you can't play it. The game's updating." So, and then the screenshots were taken. He said, admittedly, that the update didn't take more than 5 minutes, but but the point is the fact that they said no, there's never updates because it's just on our data centers. Like no updates, 0 updates, and the guy couldn't play it. Like yes, it was only a 5-minute wait, but the point is they've said no updates.
Yeah,
there was an update.
The thing is, for them to say no update, their version of the game that they have in the data center must need to update every so often. So if you're going to try and stream the game at that exact moment that the data center's updating, then it's going to update for the person.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Does that
it's the way they've worded it. I mean, it is the way they worded it. So, okay, so there's that. So then when we start talking about technical specs, people have actually realized, so the games that came free with it was Destiny 2 and another game, but I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. The issue is they're saying, at this current moment, Stadia will do 4K 60 frames a second. Up to, sorry, that's the word they like to use, up to. It's 4K 60 frames a second. Right, so there's a few issues with this now. So it turns out that the version of Destiny that you have got as part of your Stadia deal is not a 4K version. It's the 1080 version that's upscaled to 4K. So when you see it compared to the 1080p version, there's not a huge amount of difference because you are literally taking a 1080p signal and it's just been upscaled. It's taken a 1080p game and then you're running it down a 4K signal, and then it's just been converted that way. When you compare it to the actual 4K, like the Xbox One X version of Destiny 2, there's vast difference. And what you're going to remember is your bandwidth is taking the taking the punishment for that. It's having to download a 4K signal when you're not getting a 4K image. I think somebody worked it out that instead of 4K, you're getting like, it's over 1080p, but it's not like, it's nowhere near 4K. It's like, it's like, I think it was like 1160. It was a really odd like thing. It's like 1160p or something really odd. But again, you know, you can't, how are you meant to get a proper 4K like image when the game that you're playing off their data center is a 1080p game originally? Do you know what I mean? There's issues there.
Yeah.
Have you seen the image of Stadia Red Dead Redemption compared to the Xbox One version of Red Dead Redemption?
I have not.
I was going to say, I've watched I think it's a Digital Foundry video where they've compared them, and yeah, it doesn't sort of shine a good light on Stadia. Because there's all this sort of, you know, artifacts from compression and
it's
the
not
banding
good
in colors and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, especially if you're, you know, like you say, it's people, you know, if you sell it to people, it's like, you know, this is streaming, you know, there will be compromises. It's not going to match a kind of playing it native on the system in your home. But the fact is, they try to sell it as, no, it is 4K, it is 60 frames per second. It's, you know, it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you're saying that, you've got to live up to that. You can't now to come out and say, oh, well, you know, it is a 4K signal, but it's not a 4K picture. And, you know, and it doesn't look as, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot by trying to, they're not necessarily being dishonest, but they've tried to paint a better picture than what it actually is. And it's kind of given everyone the ammunition to just shoot them down.
Yeah, and that's the issue, is obviously their defense is they keep turning around saying we're saying it's up to 4K, but that's fine. But they were basing that, if you watch their presentations, they're basically saying it's up to 4K based on your connection, not based on what their limitations. The limitations are being set by them. So like, you understand if you weren't getting a 4K image and you realize that your uploads and download speeds weren't high enough, you'd go, okay, fair enough, that's me. It's the fact that you've got people with very, very fast internet, with very, very good upload speeds, with very, very low ping, are still getting the same results, and that's because the actual product that you're getting provided by Google on their data centers is not even close to being able to get up there.
Doom, if you have a second, and you can quickly whip up Discord, you can see the images that were posted on Twitter with the 2 different versions of the game.
Where did you post it?
In the general chat of my Discord. Let's see.
Got it. Yeah, there you go. I'm looking at it now. See, that is ridiculous. Like, how can you say that's 4K? Like, it's I mean, it's not even close. If it was close, you'd go, fair enough. I mean, honestly, you could have given me those images and saying that's the Twitch that they're working on, and you would kind of go, yeah, I could see it. Like, do you know what I mean? Some of these are quite poor. In fact, yes, like the last image of the 4, if you told me that was the Switch port, I would have gone, yeah, that I accept that. Them saying that's you're playing a 4K game, no, that's unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. I think it's shocking, really. Yeah. Anyway, yes. So we've got that as a problem. You know, they're saying that, you know, you can play up to 4K based on your connection. Based on your connection, you can get up to 4K at 60 frames a second. But it's not based on your connection. It's based on what they're giving you in the first place, and that's the dishonest bit, I guess, that people are really annoyed by. It gets worse for them though, as if it wasn't bad enough. It gets worse because things like the YouTube functionality. Bearing in mind they own YouTube, they probably could have worked to integrate this, but they didn't. So YouTube functionality, the integration into YouTube, is currently unavailable. It doesn't exist at the moment. So well, because they're trying to push YouTube gaming, aren't they? So the YouTube functionality is not working on Stadia at the moment. I mean, we talked about the prices of the games, even with the Stadia Pro discount, like that some of those were like unacceptable, like Shadow of the I think it was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's like you're paying like almost full price for it, when I could walk into Game and get it for like half that price easy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing is, if you was to get on the Switch, it'd probably cost even more than it's on Stadia.
Yeah. But you see
that image I showed to the guys in Discord, my Discord. I was trying to bring it up on the stream, but for some reason it's not window capturing properly when it comes to my browser. So I don't know why that is. That is why I haven't shown the people watching.
You post the link in the chat and people could click on it then. So there is that. Anyway, so obviously it's looking pretty bad for them. And then they said it's okay though, as part of because obviously as part of the Stadia Pro membership, you'll get 2 free games every month, and you can keep those. That's great. So the 2 games that they've said you can have are 2 games that are currently what they're offering for you to buy. So they're not new, like they're not even games that. So one of them, I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Want to say it's NBA. I want to say.
See, I don't know what was said before, but giving you 2 games a month is kind of like what Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus is, and they don't give you new games every month, so I don't see a problem with that myself.
It's more the fact that like you've only got a very, very limited games to choose from with the service anyway. They are like they are overcharging you. Yes, I know Nintendo, but Nintendo then don't give you the game for free a month later. Do you know what I mean? They don't take your money and then go, oh, now you can. Where Stadia have literally gone, here's the list of 15 games that are being released with Stadia. You've got to pay almost full whack for some of these games. You then go and pay full whack for Shadow of the Tomb Raider and NBA 2K20, which I believe is the two games. And then literally they're saying next month those two games were given to you for free as part of your. Like,
no, I get what you're saying. See, one of my issues with Stadia was when they were talking, when they had the big conference, they're going, this is gonna be fucking amazing. We've got so many people working on games to be coming out when it's released. We got so many companies joining us, and then it's like, oh, there's a couple of games.
Yeah.
Like maybe
they got no games from their own studios.
They got a few games from their own studios, like a couple of months, a year down the line. But I think it's been released too early. They've gone off a flagship title of their own. At all, have they? They've got Destiny 2 and Tomb Raider collection.
They oversold what it was, kind of in that initial reveal. You know, like you say,
it kind of
invite people in to join your game. You can set challenges for these were interesting features that kind of made it stand out. And then, just as it's getting close to launch, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, none of that's there. It's it's bare bones. It's like, you know. You had a few things that might have kind of been your unique selling point, and then you've not followed through on them.
No,
so that's definitely not helping.
Yeah, that's the issue in it. It's like they ramped up the hype so much that people's expectations were, I would say, a little too high, but they seem to be through the stratosphere compared to what they could deliver. It's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what they've delivered is a 1.
Yeah.
Why people's expectations were like 8.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, amazingly, it somehow still gets worse because what then people were finding were the Chromecast Ultras that were given as part of the deal.
Oh, were they like melting or something?
No, well, yeah, not quite melting, but they're overheating and then not running Stadia. They apparently. They already have that problem. They overheat while watching Netflix at 4K. So what you could imagine streaming and let's be fair, you're not actually streaming at 4K. It's just a 4K signal. But anyway, the point is the Chromecast Ultras are overheating and then shutting down because they're too hot. And
they use the same manufacturer as Microsoft did for the 360.
Yeah, probably. So one of the guys that I watch on. He does a lot of teardowns, and he tore one down. And the first problem he said with it is it's made of plastic. The plastic shell is acting as a heat sink. It's got a massive heat sink directly attached to the plastic shell. So that plastic shell is adding as a part of the heat sink to disperse it. But he said it's plastic. It's not. It doesn't make a very good heat. Way of getting rid of heat. So that's their first problem. And he looked at it, and the chips that are available, the chips that are in this system aren't really capable of doing what they need to do. He said basically what they've done is they've taken a product that was already on their shelves and they've just included it in there. Nothing, like he said, the difference is the controller. He said it's a really well-made controller. He said it's very, very nice in the hand. It's very tactile. Like all the buttons work really well. He took it apart and he said this is so well made. It's solid. There's no cracking or creaking. It's got like a metal skeleton underneath. It's real.
Is it
real nice? Yeah. It's got real nicely.
I've never seen a metal skeleton. The video I saw of it being taken apart.
Yeah. Like if once you take it apart and get past the front board. It's got like a metal chassis that's like keeping the whole thing rigid and that.
I don't remember seeing it. I saw a video where they cut the fucking pad open. They couldn't open it. They just used a fucking circular blade and cut it open.
No, the guy literally took it apart like properly, as in like took all the clips off and was able to get in there, and he literally reduced it to its component parts and rebuilt it again. But the point I'm making is that he said it was. There's a good weight in the hand. He said these Chromecast Ultras had literally just come off the shelf of as a product that they already had, and they just went, yeah, this can do 4K, and they moved it in. So basically, people on Reddit suggested attaching heat sinks to the outside of the case, and people said it works. And so he tried it on the video. He attached he attached one, like, you know, the heat sinks you can use for the Raspberry Pis, the little ones, like the little ones with little sticky bottoms on.
I haven't got a clue. I've never seen a Raspberry Pi.
Okay, so they just got little heat sinks that you can attach. That's literally.
No, I get what you're saying, but I've not actually seen little tiny.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So he stuck one on, and it helped. So he ended up being stupid, and he attached like 14 heat sinks to the outside of the case, and it looked absolutely ridiculous because they were different sizes and shapes, and he stacked them on top of each other, and then he put the case back on. So like literally, they literally like stuck on the outside of the case. And it worked. It actually reduced the heat. So it shows you how much heat is going through that plastic. But then the plastic can't disperse the heat because plastic's not very good at doing that. And it reduced the temperature down quite a significant amount, which made it which made the Chromecast much more comfortable.
Wouldn't it have been better if they made it like a little bit fatter with some kind of tiny fan?
Yes.
Yes.
There would have been no issues doing that. Or, you know, he did say, even with all those heat, he said it got very hot. So it's not even like they could change it and make it out of aluminium or something to help that, because he said you wouldn't be able to touch it. They got very hot. But that's the point. Sorry, I've gone on a bit of a rant. The point is on top of all the shit that they've had for not producing a product that they said that they were going to produce, you know, on top of that, they've given you free games that have potentially you've already bought as part of Stadia, and then on top of that, the product they've actually given you, the Chromecast, is not capable of doing what you need to because it overheats and turns off. Like, how much worse of a launch can you get? I mean, this is like Sega Saturn levels. Like, do you know what I mean? This is
the one good thing about Stadia. I don't know if you can at the moment, but is you can play it on your desktop browser and what have you. Yeah. So you can still play it in that sense, but when you want to connect up your TV and that.
Yeah. You know, it's just
Venom.
I just find it nuts.
Venom Quest. Are you Venom on the forum? Are you the person who had the lovely box?
Lovely box.
No, seriously, I think it was Venom. They posted a picture. It was a tweet. It was at Google or and it says, "I'm still waiting for my code."
Yeah.
So
many people are waiting for.
Yeah, Venom. Like, hey, at Dobry, I think it's. I paid high price for the privilege of getting Stadia at launch. It's arrived a day late, and I still haven't been sent an invite code. I am unable to use it. Please, can you promptly resolve this? And it's just a picture of a box, and everyone was like, "What? You just got a box, and that was it?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I've took the stuff out, but you know."
Yeah. It's just nuts. But so basically, the reason why they got it out now was because Amazon have come along and said that they're getting in the game streaming game, and they're looking to release a product like the first or second quarter of 2020. And the difference with Amazon is you would have expected it from Google as well, but you know, Google have got the financial clout to really back this and really make it a solid product. But you know, Amazon are coming, and you know, like, look at Amazon's products at the moment. Like, love them or hate them for their UI, like, they're very well made, and the price, you know, they're very good at making these things but they make them work. They're not cheap bits of crap. Like,
yeah, my Kindle is I really like my Kindle, and that was like fucking 100 quid compared to like a fucking iPad.
Yeah.
I don't know if it could do anywhere near the same stuff, but it's really handy and it works the way I want.
Let's be fair. I'd say the vast majority of people who buy iPads are only using it for the same thing that Kindle for, like, realistic. You know, unless you're like someone who's a bit of a power user.
I think the vast majority of people who have iPads are either fucking Apple fanatics when Apple seem to be, hey, we'll sell you this stuff that's 10 years old for a higher price than anyone else, or they have an iPad just to say, I've got an iPad to their friends.
But yeah, so we know what Amazon are like in terms of they know what they're doing. They've said in investors meetings that they're ready to go for like the first or second quarter of 2020. So Google have gone, right, well we need to get we need to get out before they do. And let's be fair, the difference is Amazon own Twitch, so you know full well they're coming out the gate strong already, just for the fact that the second
but you would think Microsoft would be fucking bolder there, but no, because they've got Mixer, they fucking minted to fucking high heaven. Amazon UI isn't really. See, I don't mind Amazon store, for the user interface, but Amazon Prime Video is fucking awful.
Oh yeah,
it's not great. It's
not
great.
It's not even not great. It is bad. It is plain bad.
Yeah.
And I do think that Amazon with not paying tax and, as Matt says, the staff abuse, you know, are all things that I buy a lot from Amazon myself, and like most of the time I feel quite guilty doing it. But I also feel like, I know it's a bit of whataboutism. I think that's the right term. But I also feel like wherever the fuck I buy stuff from, I'm gonna feel like that because everywhere treats everyone like shit. Look at our government; they treat us like shit. And fucking most of the population want them in power. So it just goes to show, the worse you treat people, the better they love you.
Treating me, keeping keen and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Amazon are getting ready to do this, and I've got the feeling, the fact that they own Twitch, and they know if they come out the gates with Twitch functionality working day one, they give if they come out saying, you know, it's a subscription-based service, but you're getting the games on release. We promise you 4K, a genuine 4K. So, like, I get the impression if Amazon are coming out to do this, they're probably going to do it properly, especially now that Google have screwed up, and Amazon are going to look at this and go, right, so all we've got to do is do better than that, and I think they will. I think they'll come with Twitch functionality out the gate. They'll come with better games, better selection of games. I just think they'll do it better because Amazon, like, regardless of what you think about them, they are very good at entering markets and then like producing products that then do very well in those markets. Their tablet lines, the Kindle, you know, they're very, very good at entering markets and doing well in those markets.
It's mad to think that like Amazon have become such a giant when I think it started online just like a bookshop.
They're a bookstore.
Yeah. But I mean, I was going to say they've not had sort of universal success, Amazon. I mean, no, obviously nobody does, but I mean, they did try and launch a phone kind of, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago maybe, and it bombed massively.
Did they? But it bombed so bad, I don't even remember it.
Yeah, it was the Fire phone, I think.
Yeah.
And they had some weird thing. Oh, it's got 4 cameras on it, and that was their USP or whatever. But yeah, like you say, Google have tried to do get the drop on everyone. If we're out of the gate first with something half decent, we'll clean up. And that being the first, the early release can reap dividends.
Yeah.
But you've got to do it right, because if you get it wrong, not only do you fail, but everyone else learns from your mistake. And like you say, Amazon, they're thinking, we'll
the other issue is you fucking kill off the idea for everyone, which I guess in a way it's like, well, if no one's making profit off it, it's not a bad thing. At least we are not losing out to the other companies in that regard. But at the same time, if you're gonna fuck it up, you're gonna fuck it up for yourself as well. But the thing is it's not like the streaming shit. I mean, there was that online, and another. I think it was another retro style one as well. But
there is a current one out there for retro that will do. I did see it advertised. I clicked on it because I was like, I haven't heard of this one before. Yeah, they offer something like 15,000 retro games. But here's the thing: they don't offer, for obvious reasons, they don't offer any Nintendo titles because of Nintendo.
1 second. Matt, I'm not being funny. I would rather have a Fire phone in my hands, as they sound, however unsafe it sounds, than, oh my god, my Fire phone is in my pocket near my penis.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think, do you know what? When it comes to Nintendo, because you mentioned them, I'm finding their online service really disappointing. With the NES and SNES stuff, I don't think there's been anything added since like they added the SNES games.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of one of their subtle when they did the direct where they said, "Oh, and SNES games are going to come."
But we're not adding anything new for whenever.
Yeah, it was like very woolly about, is this going to be it?
Yeah,
and it feels like it is.
Which is ridiculous when I'm paying £20 a year.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You mentioned Amazon. They want to stream as well. They've got Twitch and the kind of all that, and they want to stream games. Similar to Stadia, but Twitch Prime is already giving people. I think they're mainly indie titles, but you kind of get like 4 games a month.
Yeah,
from being on Twitch Prime. And they'll do something similar.
And you get other stuff as well. Like there was Sea of Thieves stuff the other day you could get.
We got a load. Yeah. We got a load. Like, put it this way. So, sorry to butt in, but so for Sea of Thieves that Twitch Prime gave me, they gave me a pet monkey. Which, if you were to buy one of the monkeys from the store, that's a £5 on its own. They gave you a ship livery. They go for anything up to they're like £7 to £12 per livery, and they gave us 3 new emotes. They're £1.50 per emote if you want to buy them off the store. So like, for included in my Twitch Prime, which is just part of, like you say, it's just part of Amazon Prime. I got like 20 quid's worth of stuff just on Sea of Thieves. Like they're very they know what they're doing.
They do.
They're very very good at it.
The thing is one thing I like. You've got Twitch Prime, but because you've got Twitch Prime, you've got Amazon fucking Prime, which you've got loads of other stuff. None of the other service, like, so it's 79 quid a year. It is a lot more than other services. But when you look at all the benefits, you get a fuck ton more than anywhere else for the money.
Yeah.
Like, if you want next day delivery, that's like a fucking £5 on its own half the time from Amazon.
Yeah. They've really sold the service.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like when they upped the price before, I was like, they upped the price. And I was like, but the money I save on just fucking deliveries alone,
it's crazy.
I'm
The thing is though, if they turn around and, because the thing is though, what they've already got very very successful Fire TV sticks, the 4K TV sticks. They've got a new Amazon Fire box that for your TV, which is like Ultra HD. It's all singing, all dancing with built-in Alexa. You know full well they're gonna come out the gates with Alexa built in, ready to go. Whether or not you love it or hate it, don't matter. The fact is they're gonna come with that functionality.
The issue I have with all these microphones everywhere is I know it sounds paranoid about fucking mics all listening, but I swear to fuck, me and the missus were talking about something the other day for the first time ever. I've never looked her online. All of a sudden, on my phone in the feed, there is stuff about that, what we were talking about. I was like, what the fuck?
Your phone, the phone.
Why am I? Everything is fucking listening to you. I'm telling you, they probably fucking bugged my house.
Honestly, I'll probably turn my phone on and there'll be something to they'll be advertising Strokemon to me or something stupid like that, or because I've been talking about the way you should be playing Sonic 06, I'm gonna have something from gagsandchains.com advertised to me or something stupid like that.
Venom Quest says, for all of Stadia's faults, it absolutely is a proof of concept that streaming works, and I wouldn't disagree with it from not playing it, but I would agree with it from playing xCloud. Like, I have issues with it myself. When I was playing it myself, it would kind of especially first off, it would kind of freeze, the picture would, and I'd have to just press off the app and go back on that, and it'd work fine again. But the issue seems to be it runs fine, but I have the occasional sound hiccup, and it's like I'm moving, and then one frame for a second or two from a couple of frames previous would be there and fade away, kind of thing. That was the only problems I had. But there was no fucking delay or anything. There was when I was using the Switch Pro controller. There wasn't when I was using the Xbox One.
But here's the problem. Like I say, it is a proof of concept, but they charged you 130 quid for the privilege of that proof of concept, and that's
he's sending it back though, so he'll get his money back.
yeah. But Microsoft just went, give us your email address if you're picked to have a go, like in waves. If you're picked to have a go, make sure you've got an Android phone and a controller, and we'll give you 50 games for free to have a go. Like 50 games, no cost. Just make sure you've got 50 plus. Just make sure you've got a phone that does it, and make sure you've got a controller for free.
I did tweet them actually asking if it was going to come to the Kindle, but I forgot to check about a reply. I don't think I have, because I would have noticed.
But do you know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying. The thing is I while I don't like the fact that you're basically paying for beta testing, or beta testing as we would say in the UK, at the same time, it isn't really too dissimilar to early accessing games.
No, it's not.
It's not
absolutely
dissimilar. It is different in that with a game, you're buying the game gets updated, but you're still playing the game. With this, it seemed to be you're buying this, and then you have to buy a couple of games to go with it. So you're spending a bit more. Then it's like, here's a game that we're releasing in early access. Here's some DLC that you need to play the game properly, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
The whole thing just doesn't. It seems like Google had seemed really stingy.
I agree with what Adam said. He's agreeing with us as well.
Yeah, I mean, compare it to everyone else. It's just, why would I put my money down?
Well, here's the thing. Again, going back to Amazon, when they do release it, I would not be surprised that they say if you're a Twitch Prime member, they'll give you. I'm not going to say like they're giving you like loads of games, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if like as part of your normal Twitch Prime membership, that I reckon once every so often, as part of your the loot, they'll end up giving you a game for the stream. Like you just know it. And then I bet you anything they'll say if you upgrade to Twitch Prime Plus or something, which will, like for instance, I've got I've got Amazon Prime, which means I've got Twitch Prime, but I also have Amazon Prime Music, which is handy. And then like even though Amazon Prime Music's separate in terms of like I pay for the full access to it, you get a certain amount free as part of your Prime membership anyway. But then I pay to have but then all of a sudden they've given me the option of having HD, the music in HD instead, which is like what Tidal offer, for just a couple of pound extra a month if I want that. It's just a simple upgrade option. You can see what they're going to do with Twitch Prime is the same thing. They're going to say, well, if you've Twitch Prime, you get. They'll probably just say once every so often in your Prime loot, we'll give you a game for free, and you can, as on our streaming service. I wouldn't mind betting they'll say, but if you pay an extra £2 or £3 a month, 4 a month, 5 a month, whatever it is, they say for an extra X amount a month, we'll give you 2-3 games every month, and they'll be and you can imagine Amazon giving you quite recent, maybe even brand new games for that, and you would not be surprised at all.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's the other thing as well. Again, you know, if you've got Prime, you know, and you've had it for a while, you've already got a back. If you've claimed it, you've got a backlog of games. I can get, you know, they're going to probably come out and say, yeah, here's our new streaming service. All those games we've given you over the last
stream all.
They're all on there, and it's the same. That's like with Google, they're kind of coming from nothing.
Yeah.
And so you've got no back catalogue. You know, it's not like, oh yeah, you can stream all those games you've already bought. No, you've got nothing. You've got to buy all your games again for us. There's no guarantee
with Amazon Prime and Twitch. Twitch have already now recently got its own streaming software. Like I use OBS Studio. There's also Streamlabs OBS. There's XSplit. There's Bebo, I think it's called. There's a couple of other ones, but Twitch have now got their very own. Yeah, I haven't tried it. One of the guys
I'm gonna download it.
I speak to has Xanthem. He regularly sometimes pops in here, he pops into my channel, pops into other people's channels who are in the chat now. He tried it, he said he said it was shit. But he said it's not actually shit. What it is it's lacking some basic features of like many other things that need to be fixed. But it also has some really cool stuff on there that you don't get anywhere else. So it's like it's lacking some things, but better in others. So I think given a bit of time, that will come along.
It is in beta,
and
I
the
mean,
thing
it says,
is,
it says
no,
on
I
it,
agree. That's what I'm saying. Like it's something that will improve with time. But like you don't have to use Amazon stuff to stream it. If you've got it straight on your PC, you can use any of your own games. Still stream it.
Yeah.
And the Twitch games all come in the Twitch application thingy.
Yeah.
So you know, if anything comes to Twitch Prime from Amazon Prime, when there is a stream service, it'll be fine to. I can't see it being an issue to stream.
No.
If they're already giving away games, they're not going to then. I don't think they would then say, "Oh well, we're going to now give you an option to have a couple more," and they're already giving you 4 months anyway. I reckon what will happen is when this streaming service comes out for games and stuff, I can see what's probably going to happen is they'll probably just up the price of Prime by like a tenner a year in general for everyone.
Oh, for everyone. So
yeah,
you do, so yeah, and
but that's what they did after Amazon TV and stuff came out. They just upped the price from like the £59 a year to £79 a year or something like that.
But everyone benefited from it. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone. Everyone gets a benefit, but a lot of people don't watch the stuff. I really watch Amazon Prime.
Good Omens was very good. I did.
Good Omens was great, and the first season of Tick was awesome. I haven't watched the second.
I've watched a fair bit on Prime. Mostly TV series.
I've started watching more. The UI's crap. That's the
it is.
There's loads of good stuff on there. You just can't find it.
Yeah.
And and like you know, they obviously they go like I've absolutely loved watching the Grand Tour, and I can't wait. I absolutely love it.
I'm not interested in the Grand Tour. I did hear that they're now doing like specials instead of proper series now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're not. They've stopped doing the studios like bits anymore. It's all specials. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. But the point is, they upped everyone's price by a tenner a year, which is negligible per month. And everyone gets that service, and you can kind of see them doing the same thing. Maybe they'll buy another tenner, but everyone gets the streaming service, and maybe everyone gets a game every. Like, and it's up to you whether or not you take the offer. Do you know?
Yeah, it's exactly. I could. It's exactly the same as having Twitch Prime, Amazon Prime now, and not using the TV service or not using another service. There's so many different services. So I'm sure you get like one book a month that you can read. I think you get Amazon Music.
Yeah.
You get Twitch Prime. You get deliveries. You get the TV. There's a fucking lot of stuff if you look on them, like
for a very small amount of money, really.
Yeah. So I think what they'll do is probably just up it by a tenner and say at the end of the day, like they'll probably do the streaming service and kind of like add like maybe one other smaller thing as an incentive. Maybe they'll do it at the same time as same day deliveries, something.
Yeah.
And then like, well, you get same day delivery. We're upping it by a tenner, and people will be like, fuck I.
Yeah, like with like for me personally, if I'm a betting, Matt's asking.
Not enough, Matt. Not enough.
I'm still waiting for my royalties from Stardew Valley. I've sold that game to so many people now. Waiting for those royalties to come rolling.
Didn't sell it to me. I was already playing it before you even knew it was a thing. I don't know if that's actually true. I just felt like making it.
Yeah, but honestly, I think the two companies that are genuinely worth looking at, like, don't invest your money in Stadia yet. Maybe this time next year they've turned it around, but by that time Xbox are going to have their streaming service out, and so will Amazon.
Yeah.
And honestly, if
the
I'm
thing is as well is I think Sony are going to be having a streaming service.
Yeah.
I
certainly technically have a PlayStation now, but that's directly to the PlayStation. But that don't count, in my opinion.
Like
so,
for me, I'm probably going to benefit from Microsoft's cloud service anyway, because Game Pass Ultimate is going to have some kind of integration with a streaming service. You just know it's going to happen. So I'm going to benefit from anyway, because obviously as part of their xCloud service, they're also giving you the ability to console stream from anywhere in the world, because as long as your console is connected to your router and it's got a decent, like your upload speed is decent, instead of streaming it from their data service, you just stream your own games from the console and it's used as a data center. So I think that's a great idea as well. So I'm going to benefit from that anyway, and I've already got Twitch Prime and Amazon Prime. So I'm going to bet, if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on those two companies being the two that are particularly successful at this streaming business. I think Google will eventually come back, but I think it's going to take a lot of patching a lot of holes, putting out a lot of fires as they're starting, and making up for the damage they've done. And then Sony are going to turn up with their own thing, and Nintendo are going to maybe thinking about getting their games at full 1080p.
I think Nintendo will enter the streaming race in about 55 years' time.
Yeah, probably.
When everything have moved on to inserting the game into your brain and you just becoming in a real other world somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, it doesn't make sense to me, kind of the way Stadia has been launched in this state. Like you say, they know what Microsoft are doing. They know what xCloud. Like you say, Game Pass Ultimate is probably going to get bundled in with that. There's loads of people already bought into that. There's loads of people bought into Amazon. You're coming into it. You might be the first one saying, here's our product, but that doesn't mean everyone else is sleeping. There's a huge market of people already out there. Why have they come in, and why have they not given more away? Why have they not made it? You're going to lose money on it, but you'll get much more of a foot in the door. I don't understand why they've come out with such an expensive offering that just gives you so little. It just makes no kind of business sense.
I wonder if they were just, after the announcement and stuff, and there was quite a popular buzz around it, to be honest. I pre-ordered it. I cancelled it, but I pre-ordered it. But because when it was first out, there was a massive buzz, and everything they said after was like making it sound worse every time they spoke about something.
Yeah.
And I think if they came out and it was as good as they said, and everything they said after it would just build upon the hype, I think what they must have been thinking is so many people are so interested in this, we're going to end up having so many people buying it, and maybe they just couldn't get the deals in place in time, and they had to get it out because they said they were going to, or maybe they wanted it out just before Christmas, or obviously there was a reason why they got out so early with very little on there. But it's just a shame, really, because it would have been interesting to see it. And like as Venom says in chat, it gets the gaming right in it streams fine,
Proves
like
the concept,
and
it does,
and that's a good thing. For me personally, I don't know how much I would actually use streaming. Like, I'd rather just download my games or put in a disc or a cart and play it. I don't really venture outside a lot, especially when it comes to like, even if I was to go out, it would probably be like, oh, I'll take the kids to the park. I'm not going to sit and say, kids, fuck off and play. I'm going to sit here and play on my phone with an Xbox game. Oh, you fell and hurt your leg? I don't care. I'm trying to win this race in Forza 4. You know what I mean? The only gaming I tend to do outside of my house is when I go to Cardiff once every so often and go to a Nintendo South Wales event. And then I'll play some games for a couple of hours and then I'll come home. And that's like once, like they do it once every 2 months down there. But I've gone this year, I've gone twice.
Yeah.
So.
That's the thing, is it's going to take a while, but kind of takes. You look at something like video streaming, like Netflix has been around for quite a while, and it's not like it's completely destroyed, normal TV or DVD or Blu-ray. It is going to. Consoles are here for a while. We've got a good few generations before, but streaming probably is kind of where we're heading, but it's a long way off.
Can you imagine the price of a NES game in 20 years' time when streaming is the big thing?
Yeah.
It's how much for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES? 25 grand, mate.
Yeah. Like there'll be generations of kids who have no concept of what a cartridge is. Do you know what I mean? In fact, the thing that's making I was gonna say the thing that's making me I'm already feeling old. Like my daughter is she's due on the 10th of February. We're 10 weeks today actually. 10 weeks today from the due date, and it's hit me. It hit me quite early actually, but the thing that's hit me more than anything is the fact that I'll be talking about the 90s, and she's going to be like, "Dad, you're old. Shut up." And like I've got a games room with GameCubes in, and she's going to go, "What are they? Why do they look like they are going to look ancient to her?" And I look at them and I think they look quite. I still think they would look good on anyone's.
I think you'd be surprised. Like
console,
my kids are not my oldest is 12, but they still like the look of things from way back when. Like for example, as I've told people before, when I went to Cardiff before, there was this gaming event there. Took my kids and I went with my brother-in-law, and we they had a Super Nintendo Mini and a Nintendo Mini. I don't think that's what they're called, but that's what I'm calling it. NES Mini and NES Mini. So, and they had PlayStation VR there. They had to go PlayStation. They were playing on the SNES and NES Mini, and they were playing Mega Man 2 on the NES and Super Mario World on the SNES. They played it for about 10-15 minutes, maybe longer, before they could get on the... No, it was less than that. They got onto the VR headset. They both had to go, and they're like, do you want to try a different game on there? They're like, no, can we go back to them? And they were playing for the majority of the time we were there, they were playing on the NES and SNES Mini, and since then they've wanted their own NES and SNES Mini, and I'm like, no, I've got my own, you can play them, and they're still in the boxes unopened. So, you know, you should name your daughter GameCube.
I'm sure Sean would highly appreciate that. I tried asking her if we could call it a teaspoon, but no, apparently that's not acceptable either.
Some people name their kids after video game characters. Like I believe there's someone on the forum who named their daughter Zelda, I think.
Yeah, well, Robin Williams named his daughter Zelda.
Exactly. After the game. Kevin Smith, while it's not a video game character, named his daughter Harley Quinn after Harley Quinn from Batman.
Yeah.
Name her Q and tell her how much you always wanted a Q.
Yeah.
You're worth at least £600 on eBay now.
But yeah, no. Sorry, getting back to kind of obviously the main topic that we were talking about, like talking about streaming and getting into where it'll be. I think you're right. It is eventually they've got to work out some serious kinks. Like for instance, I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I actually met in one of the things a few weeks ago. I was playing Odyssey on my Xbox, and while I was playing,
old Joe.
And while I was playing, I actually didn't realise my router downstairs decided to an update was sent through. So while he was updating, it cut everything off from the internet while he updated. And I only noticed when I opened I hit the Xbox button and I noticed I wasn't connected online. Looked at my phone, I was like, oh, I'm not connected. So I went downstairs to check and I realised it was updating. But the point was, obviously I got disconnected. I was happily playing my game, totally unaware of this. If I was streaming, right now, if I was on Stadia, I could have been in the middle of something and it would just cut me off with no warning, because there's no way, like, you're streaming everything. Like, they've got to work out kinks like that. Like, how do you, like, I don't know how you do it, but they've got to figure out a way of like, not just cutting off because your connection's gone. I have no idea how they'll do it, but
I think that is going to be an issue.
It's going to be a huge issue.
That's going to be a big issue, but if your net cuts off, you can't play a game, you can't play your game. The biggest issue I see is that happens and it doesn't kind of go into a sleep state. Instead, it like just knocks the game off. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, so the last 10 hours I've been playing this game
Yeah.
are all unsaved. That is going to be the big issue to me. It's like, oh, like
Yeah.
my electric have cut out. It happens. In my old house, it used to happen quite often. So what I would do is I would just play Monopoly with the missus or something.
Yeah.
Yes, actual Monopoly. And I would
Yeah.
always win. And I would never, ever cheat.
But do you know what I mean? It's like I don't even know where. Like, yes, maybe if you get disconnected, it gets into like a save state or like a pause screen or something. But it doesn't change the fact that it interrupts your gameplay. Doesn't matter if it saves your game. The point is, I was seamlessly carrying on playing Odyssey, blissfully unaware of the situation. And the internet was down for like half an hour or so while it updated, and it was fine. It like updated, and I was connected again, and that's great. But how do you get around that?
Oh,
and once they figure that out, is when I will accept streaming.
Yeah, I don't know. They wouldn't be able to get around it unless it's like it pauses and then everything that you can have will work on mobile data as well. So if it disconnects from the internet, it'll then connect to 5G.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's where they've got to go now. Is obviously there's a lot of promises with 5G in terms of like the bandwidth is much bigger. It's much stronger than 4G, and they're able to do.
I remember watching the Gadget show where they were playing games in London somewhere on 4G, and it looked amazing. It was running perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it wouldn't be the same around here. I don't know if they just magicked they have fucking 4G Super Plus or something.
Yeah.
And around here we have fucking D-grade fucking 4G or something. But
yeah, like they've got to get 100% coverage to try it, and then you've just got to hope that like
the thing is,
the masts don't go down.
There's going to be issues if you're playing a game on your Xbox. If it's a game that's tied to the internet, I don't mean online. I mean it's a game that you have to be connected to online to play. Something like The Sims was like when it came out. Then you're not going to be able to play it. If your electric cuts out, you're not going to be able to play it. With streaming services, unless they do it so you're playing your game on your phone, and your internet cuts out, then it connects to 4/5G, and you can carry on. Then that's a workaround of no electric at least. But your electric is, I would say, less likely to cut out your internet.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
I can't see the only way they can get around it is if everything has a 5G connection. And the thing is I don't know where. I know 3 are working hard to get like really good quality 5G in London right now, but you know that's it.
Yeah.
It's a real like. I mean, it's new technology, and you know, technology jumps leaps and bounds every year. You know, at the end of the day, at the current rate of progression, you can fit like this year, like the microchips that are being produced this year, you'll be able to fit the same amount of power on in chips half the size every 2 years. So that's why things get so advanced so quickly, and that rate actually is ramping up slowly over like as time goes on. So we're talking about streaming as a brand new thing, and we can't see how they're going to get around these problems. But like give it the next generation is the beginning of the stream generation in terms of that it's going to allow it.
Any new technology is like the people at the time like, I don't know how it would work, and then
exactly.
Like 20.
It's like, I don't know how it work. Well, give it. I don't know how it work. Well, after we kill thousands of trees and animals and stuff, you'll see how it works. It'll work by it working and the planet being fucked.
Yeah.
I'd say
fucked into oblivion. I don't mean the game.
I'd say, you know, it'll probably be like, say 20 years, which is another 3 generations, I reckon. But in the next 3 generations of console, 3 or 4 generations of console, we're going to basically be streaming everything. 20 years isn't a long time, bearing in mind a console generation.
I'll be in my
6 to 7
50s in 20 years' time. I'll be like What, like 9? Oh, no, I'd say 1/10 of Jawa's age in 20 years' time. Yeah, I'd go with 1/10.
But yeah, so I don't know. What are your guys' opinion? Obviously we've talked about Stadia, but what are your guys' opinion on streaming? How do you think it's going to work for this next generation coming up, and where do you see it going in the future?
I talked about streaming with you, streaming games before, and my opinion is like I don't. Like, I get the difference with the internet and stuff, but I don't see the difference with streaming games that you purchase to buying them digital. You're not. If you're buying them for a streaming service or buying them download, you have probably the exact same rights of your digital content, so I can't see it being an issue there. The only issue is like you said, it's the internet. And obviously streaming is going to take off, and it's going to get better, especially when more and more companies that are already in the gaming market, and then some like Amazon, which they kind of got their foot in with Twitch and stuff, but they're not really in the. They ain't bringing out loads of games, although they do have that top whatever Top Gear is now on there.
Grand Tour,
yeah, that's the one. Grab Top Gear from the Sons of it. Basically, it's like when you have other companies coming in and other companies who are in there all striving to make streaming a bigger and better thing, and a prospect for more people to get involved in on a consumer-based level. So, you know, more people might not be interested in buying a fucking console to play the games. If it's plugging in a fucking Chromecast or just going on your browser and going, oh, I'm playing my games, then people are going to be more interested. Or even just pulling out their phone. Because mobile gaming is fucking massive now. But for a lot of people, they're going to be like, oh, nice, I can play like my new Mario game. No, Mario, it's fucking Nintendo. I could play my new, I could play like, you know, Forza or Halo or one of the 1,000 Tomb Raider games on Stadia on my phone. You know, it's going to be something that is definitely going to take off. I think when On Live came out, I think it was a bit premature. That was a bit too early. But now it's hitting the point where the infrastructure in several of the bigger countries that people target for, you know, the games and stuff like you know, America, the UK, Japan, all that kind of thing. It's not going to be a slow uptake. I think by fucking like 2025, you're going to see a lot more games.
Huge,
yeah.
No, and that's like what, just over 5 years away. I reckon within 5 years you'll see a big uptake in like xCloud being used, Stadia if it's still around 5 years, because it is Google, you know.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable that it's not necessarily going to take over, but it's going to become, you know, part of the spread of gaming options that are out there. Streaming is going to grow, you know, next 5, 10, 20 years. You know, it's going to become a bigger part of the landscape. But yeah, we've talked about it. There are technical problems that they need to go overcome. Kind of, what do you do? You know, not everyone's speed is good enough. The internet's not necessarily reliable enough. What do you do when it goes down? But again, kind of that is going to come with time, because you think, we all talk about, you might have a power cut is much less likely. It's like, well, you go back 50 years ago, and you know, the power infrastructure of a country was not what it is now. We did have power cuts, you know, in the 70s and stuff. It wasn't that unusual for there to be a power cut. And you know, the internet will become faster and more reliable, and you know, and it will be like, you know, we just go now, we plug something in the wall, and we just, we 100% assume the power will work, and it'll, there will be a time when the internet, you know, we would just assume it always works, and it's very rare that it's not available. So, but we're not there yet. So it's kind of, you know, how do you sell a service at the moment when, you know, when the internet is somewhat unreliable and slow? My biggest issue is, Jenuall, and
Sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to say the biggest issue is I said by 2025 I reckon streaming will be a bigger thing. I just don't know how big streaming or gaming will be in the UK after Brexit happens and the UK basically becomes Fallout.
This is true. Yeah, we will be living a live streamed game of.
Yeah. In seriousness, though, I shall let you get on with it. I just wanted to make a funny Brexit joke, which wasn't funny.
It was worth it. Worth it. But yeah, no, I think ultimately, it's going to be a big part. But yeah, consoles and PCs and physical, local machines are here for a good while. Yeah. But there are certain, like you say, mobile games now, but they weren't 10 years ago, and also.
How dare you? Snake was the fucking bomb back in the early 2000s, late 90s. Yeah. I played not long ago a game called Blair Witch, based on the Blair Witch Project film, and in that you have a phone that looks like a Nokia phone, and there was a game on there called something, and it was Snake. And I was so excited. I actually played it for a little bit. I was like, I can't because I'm streaming. But my exact words were, I fucking loved Snake back in the day.
Yeah. Snake was big.
Snake started the mobile gaming revolution.
That was it. Yeah. But mobile games are massive. They make loads of money. Yeah. In bad ways sometimes with microtransactions and all that. But they're not the same. The games you play on your mobile are not the same as the games you play on your console and your PC. And we're probably heading in the same way in that the games everyone's like, well, it's not giving me the same experience as my Xbox does and my PlayStation does. And well, it might be that, it isn't all, it doesn't have to be the same. And it's like, well, these experiences are better suited to streaming. And these experiences are better suited to, and there might be some crossover, but it's going to find its feet in other areas, and there might be experiences we haven't got yet, but there'll be things that work better in streaming that don't work as well, and it's we'll just see how that plays out. But yeah, I tried on Live. I signed up to that when that came out sort of 5 years ago, and Venom I think said on the chat earlier that Stadia is it's a successful kind of proof of concept. But to a similar extent, on Live was as well. It worked. I could play. There were games I played on Live, and I didn't. They kind of had evolved similar to like with the xCloud trial. It's like here's 50 games. And when you signed up to on Live, there was just a bunch of games on there. It's like, well, I don't own this. I'll play it on here. It wasn't perfect. It was a bit laggy. The picture wasn't great, but it worked. It did kind of prove this could be done. And so, things. It is kind of depressing that basically everything people are moaning about with Stadia, other than it overheating Chromecasts and all that, it's the same problems. People said about on Live. It's a bit laggy. It's a bit.
On Live produced the proof of concept 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like there was no need for Google to prove it again.
No, it's like,
all they needed to hit the ground with something.
Yeah. It's like come back when you've got it right, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't come back and show us it still could
what we already knew.
It's still not quite there. But it will get there, and there will be people who, like you say, I don't want to put 300 quid down on a console, but I might pay 10 quid a month to play some game. There will be people who that's the way they want to do it. So there's clearly none.
What? Let's imagine we're in a world where streaming's a lot more successful. It's a lot more reliable. Can you see yourself not necessarily doing a full switch over, but can you see yourself including game streaming into your kind of like gaming bubble as a regular kind of way of playing games? And if so, how would you include it? I know you're using your current mindset to do that. It's kind of imagine how would you would you include streaming into your kind of gaming routine or whatever you want to call it, and what would you use to stream? Would you do you like the idea of using your phone and doing that, or do you know what I mean? Like what?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting question because it's kind of one of the things that's made me think about when you say would, like, if you'd have said to me 10, 15 years ago, you will spend a lot of your time streaming movies and TVs and TV shows and watching it on a tiny screen in your hand. I'd be like, what a stupid idea. I've got a big telly, I can sit in a nice comfy chair and watch. But I think now I spend, I'm on the bus, I'm on the train, I'm lying down in bed at night. Oh, I'll watch an episode of something on my phone. I would just not have imagined doing that 15 years ago. And in the same way, it might feel a bit stupid now. Or why would I, get my phone out to play, 10 minutes of Halo or whatever? But something, that switch will happen. Yeah. And so I think it will be a part of how I play games, but I don't think it's going to be a huge. I can't see it's going to be more than 20 years. I think.
Yeah.
Got any chance of being the main way, if ever, it's kind of the main way I play games. But I think naturally it's just going to be something that happens. Like I've got Amazon Prime. I've got I've signed up to Game Pass. Through one of these services, someone will say to me, "Here is streaming. Why not? Why not give it a go?" And I will give it a go and probably continue using it. If they're going to say, it's only a few quid a month, then it will probably give me enough to carry on doing that.
Yeah.
But if I was somebody who was not currently paying for a service like that, I don't think we're anywhere near the point where it's no one's going to go, I'll buy Amazon for game stream.
No.
They'll go, I'll buy Amazon Prime for all these other things, and that's a nice bonus.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be part of how I play games. But I don't. I think we're a while off it kind of having a chance of taking over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my view anyway.
Okay. What about you, Pedz?
I agree with everything that's been said. Like I said, I think that streaming stuff is obviously going to take off, and I think had Google not fucked up, I think the uptake would be a lot better sooner. Especially with the integration they were going to have, you can click in. I was really I wasn't thinking about using a lot of the stuff. If you're stuck on something, you can say, hey, Google, could you help me do this? And it'll take you to another person who's done that bit of a game straight on YouTube and show you how to do it. That kind of thing. It was really fucking cool. And are you able to do any of that? How long will it be till you can do any of that? And I think all these features, announcing them to start with, and then not having them on launch as fucked in, I think it's probably set back streaming a little bit. Because people are like, well, what benefit have I got? Other than being able to play on, my phone, maybe. What real benefit has it given me? And I'm not saying, for people who were in the know about it, they can see some of the other benefits. But I think for your average person who might be interested in playing the games, they'd be like, well, what benefit have I got if these features are not even usable or half-assed over a console which has similar features built in?
That's it's part of the problem at the moment. What they're selling us, it's a worse version of what you've already got. Really. So you have to buy all the full price. It doesn't all the interesting things they said it might be able to do. Help me out with this game. Show me someone else playing it. Invite other people to join in with me live, and all those things sounded really interesting. And it's that's different to what I've currently. Whereas now it's it offers you nothing more than what you've got now, but in a slightly worse package and a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
So
for me personally, I said, I don't know how much I'd use streaming. I've got a PC, but it's not amazing. It's got 1070 and i7 7600K processor. It's decent enough. It'll do 4K with a fair few games, but it's nothing amazing. I've got an Xbox One X. I've got a PlayStation 4. I've got a Switch. I've got all the main consoles and a PC where I don't need to stream. There's literally no reason for me to. It's like, oh hey, I could stream on my monitor, but my PC is connected. Like the games I could play there anyway. Well, where's my benefit? You know, there is none.
Yeah.
I guess the benefit is if you're on the go. One, I have the Switch, which I would rather play a game on my Switch and have my neck broken and that stolen off me, as it's a lot cheaper than a £1,000 phone.
Yeah.
To have my neck broken and stolen off me on the train in Wales, in the fucking valleys.
Not painting the best picture of trains in Wales in the valleys.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, but in general with the streaming, it's like unless there's like a really good 4G connection everywhere, like around my area, you get 4G most of the time. Some places it just says H, which I think means it's happy. I don't know.
HSDPA. That stands for.
It stands for it's really hangry. But what bugs me then is like, is how good is it going to work, and how often am I actually going to play? Like, you're not going to be walking down the street playing some really intense Xbox game or like a Tomb Raider or whatever the crap they've got on Destiny. Could you imagine walking down the street? You're like not really concentrating on where you're going. You're playing Destiny in the middle of a raid, then all of a sudden you're walking on a fucking road in front of a car.
Bang.
Like, there was a lot of shit for Pokemon Go for people not like doing stupid things. Could you imagine what it's be like if everyone's able to just walk around playing their fucking console games on everything? Do you know what? You would cull off a lot of fucking idiots, so that might be a good thing. Hey, Gammon, play this game and take a walk down the street.
The Darwin Awards would be overloaded.
But you know what I'm trying to say? It'd be...
Yeah.
It's going to be something where you're like, all right, I'm going to be sitting down in this place. I'll play a game for an hour while I'm here. But where do people really go to do that? It's like, hey, I'm going to the library. I'm going to play some games in the library. It's like, well, we'd go there to read. We'll do some research. You're not going to be playing games at the same time. You know? Or I'm off to McDonald's for a burger. Well, okay, I'm going to sit down and eat my McDonald's, which takes all of 2 minutes. Before I leave and come back for another McDonald's because it doesn't fill you. So I suppose you could start and like pause the game every 2 minutes between walking in and out the door to feed yourself. But I can't see it being of that much practical use unless you're popping around a friend's house. But then if you're sitting there playing games on your phone when you're visiting your friend, you're not really doing much with a friend to make much of a point of being there. Like if you're playing a game with your friend, that's different. But if they're like watching TV and trying to talk to you, like, yeah, I'm in the middle of something, then why go there? I can't think of a really good reason why I would need to stream if I'm out. Yeah. Like, I guess the thing would be if I'm going on a train. Like, the only place I go is Cardiff, which is roughly 30 minutes. I suppose I could have a 30-minute session on something, an hour for there and back, but I don't really go anywhere else. And the trains have got built-in Wi-Fi, so that's why I would do it. If I was to go in a car with someone and they were driving somewhere, I wouldn't likely be playing games. Personally, like kids might. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think the thing with streaming as well is at this current moment in time, it offers gamers like me, you, Jenuall, pretty. I would have assumed, the majority of people who are watching and listening to this now, people like us, it's not really aimed at us because we've got our like at the end of the day
because we're old.
Like, and like the way my current thinking of streaming is, if I was going to use it, I would have it set up to a TV. And I would still treat it like a console. Doesn't matter if I got to put a disc or not in or whatever. It would still be connected to a TV. Like I wouldn't think to use it really much on my phone. I would treat it very much like a console, because that's kind of it's our kind of that's because it's because that's how we've been conditioned to play, either on a console or like handheld, on like handheld gaming devices like your Switches, DSs, and stuff like that. They're not targeting us; they're targeting the people that kind of either can't afford these things or who are unsure as to whether or not they would like these type of things and they want to get into. Do you know what I mean? They like, we're not their priority at the moment, but because eventually, I think, like we said, I think streaming is going to be long term. It's going to be the only way to play games, I think, at some point, and then we have to.
I'll be long dead by then.
Yeah, we'll have to stream our games, but I still think I still think I would treat that streaming device as
I get
a
completely
console.
what you're saying.
I'd still have my games room. I would just plug it into the TV, which my consoles are plugged into instead at the moment, and I'd sit here and play like I would do on a console.
Yeah.
Like the marketing. I personally think the marketing for Stadia, I'm using Stadia because it's the only thing that's marketed. That's been marketed, and I just don't think it's market. It's not aiming for us. It's aiming for people who don't have the consoles, who maybe can't afford them or don't know if they like them and they can get into it, or they want to get into a console and they're not sure which one, and this gives them another option. Like, do you know what I mean? It's for them at the moment.
I get what you're saying.
Necessity. I don't think it's really going to appeal to us. You know,
I get what you're saying about the target audience.
Yes.
I think the target audience there is I think, to be honest, is quite widespread. I think they're aiming for anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
But like I know it's coming from my perspective, but it's still, to me, with streaming, for the majority of people who are going to look at it and go, I'm just going to use it in the house. It's like I can't see a lot of people needing to be.
I'm going to use it. In
I
the house.
can't
Same way I use my Switch.
Yeah, I can't see a lot of people being out and then using it a lot while they're out doing something. It's like some people with certain type of jobs, like if you're caring, but like when I used to when I was working as a carer, kind of thing. In the nights when people are in bed, you'd do your paperwork and whatever else, and then you'd have a couple of hours of just relaxing for a little bit before you went to bed yourself when you were doing sleep-ins. But I can't see you, like, for most jobs, oh, hey, dude, you need to fill in this paper. No, fuck off, I'm playing my games all day. Oh, dude, you're a police officer, say. Oh, you need to start, walking around and, making sure the town's safe. Yeah, okay. And you're walking around just playing your games on your phone. I don't see where it would be used that much. I think it would be used in the same sense of, it's on the TV. Or your Stadia thing is plugged into your TV, right? And you're playing it, and it's like, well, I'm playing some games. Your wife comes along and says, can I get the fuck off the TV, I want to watch Emmerdale. And you're like, all right, love. And then you go across onto your laptop and you go into the browser and carry on with the game.
And you just continue.
Exactly, and I think that's what would be for ease around the house more than anything. Than like you can take it anyway and do what you want kind of thing. I'm not saying people won't do that. I just think, for me personally, I can't get my head around where you would do with that unless it's like, hey guys, you come into my house to play some games. All right, I'll bring my thingy and crack on.
Like, admittedly, like obviously.
Or you watch Stroke'em. Yeah, that's what Doom would do. He would say, "All right, love." I don't know why I done a high pitched voice for you. All right, love, I'm off to play some games upstairs. Dick at you. Dick at you.
Like, for instance, logistically. Let's say we live in a world where streaming is the only way to play games now. I'm not going to lie, the 24-hour stream would have been easier for setup because, like, obviously I had Lord At and Dan.
Where would you plug your mics into?
Yeah, well, we'll have to figure that one out. But well, the
Where would you
controllers
plug your
probably-
mics into where I can hear you 3 times?
Yeah. But like for instance, obviously he brought his Xbox, his TV. I had a spare TV, Phil, but he had to bring his Xbox, and the setup. Yeah, we know how to set the consoles up. It's fine, but there was a bit of a mess of wires. You're reaching behind the TVs constantly and all this and that. Where if it was streaming, there is
It would make much.
and we wanted to do that again. We all the guys just turn up, log in, and we just all play together. So I can see the benefits there.
There's
But
definitely
but the-
benefits in that respect.
yeah. But like you said, it would be used around the house. Like the way I use my Switch, I'm a support worker and I do waking nights, and the waking nights can be very, very quiet.
Yeah.
In fact,
Someone
most
sleeps.
of my waking nights are very
I guess it's like the person you're with is sleeping all night and you're just sitting there bored
quiet.
as
Yeah,
fuck.
I look after one person during the night, and he sleeps. He's quiet, or he sleeps the majority, if not all night. So I'm just there if he has a seizure or. So otherwise, I've got nothing to do, and if I've done all my paperwork, I always take my Switch into work, because I always get a few hours here, over the course of the night. I normally get a couple of hours worth of playtime out of something, or I normally watch a Twitch stream, or I've always got I'll stick something on Sky Movies. There's always something I'll do, but other than that, apart from that, I don't really take it anywhere. What I do, I'll play on my TV up in my games room, but sometimes I just want to maybe spend time with Sean on the sofa, and I'll just take it down there instead. And I'll do that. Like I've got absolutely no use to. I wouldn't feel comfortable getting out on the bus or anything.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I feel comfortable getting it out anyway. Matt said, would your internet cope streaming 3 games to play and streaming to Twitch? Also, the games would be online as well.
Mine personally would, yes, but
I don't know, because you'd be streaming the 3 games, and from the sounds of it, Google Stadia uses a fuck ton of bandwidth an hour.
if you're streaming at this, streaming if you're
almost 4K.
bringing in a 4K stream,
So I don't know how much down you would use. I don't know the best term for that. And then up you would use, because obviously when you stream on Twitch, you're using more of your upload speed than your download speed. But then streaming online, an online game, you're using both up and down.
Yeah.
Because you're transferring data both ways.
Yeah. But I think
and then streaming the game to your console, you're probably streaming a fuck ton more to yourself than you would be to the server. So I reckon it would probably be okay. Like people in this house, like my kids, to play online games. My oldest does definitely, like FIFA other stuff. My one of my child under him, younger than him, he plays like Minecraft and stuff online, and then my 2 youngest kids play Roblox, and I fucking hate them playing it, and I always say I'm gonna ban them from playing it, and then I don't know. But the point is like when I'm streaming, there's people playing game nights. So people are definitely playing online. It's just I don't know how much bandwidth and how much of your internet speed and what have you would be using to also be having the game streamed to your system at the same time. Because how much do you need for something like Stadia?
For Stadia,
If
they're
you wanted the
saying
full 4K.
4K. They're saying it's a 30 meg download speed.
30 meg, 4 people would be, 120 meg being used?
120 meg.
Did I say 3 people or 4 people? 4 people would be
4 people,
120
120 meg. Yeah.
So say it was 4 of you playing Sea of Thieves, be 120 meg, and then you'd be using your upload
To upload back.
to upload to
But I
Twitch
think
and upload to Stadia.
The way it would work in Stadia, because
Supposedly it streams from the. It doesn't. You don't
Yeah.
stream. It streams from the.
exactly, yeah. So the up is from the Google servers to
So you'd think you'd be
you're
able
not.
to. Yeah.
You're not playing the game online. You'd be the game's being played online from their data centers. So you're not overloading. All you're doing is sending. You're just downloading the game, or you're downloading the frames, and then you're sending it back, and that's all you're doing. So everything else is handled by the server. So actually, it is viable.
It would hammer your download, but it probably wouldn't need much
upload, because all you're doing is uploading inputs. And the download is the result of the inputs that you're putting in. Yeah. So your downloads would take an absolute battering. Everyone playing at 4K, I think it's 30 meg. They said for a 4K 60 download. So bearing in mind we did 20. So I don't know what how many.
If you had a data cap, after your 24-hour stream, you would literally not be able to stream for the next 6 years. You'd not be able to use the internet for 6 years. I mean,
like if three of us were playing that game at 4K, let's just say it was 4K 60, for the nearly 25 hours that we played. The total bandwidth used to download would be in the terabytes.
Yeah,
it'd be nuts. So again, and that brings up another problem, I guess, is for streaming to be able to work. Internet service providers have got to stop caps on. No way.
I don't think caps are too bad in the UK. It's more America and stuff, isn't it? Because in America, America's meant to have quite good internet if you're willing to fork out a ridiculous amount for it. And I mean a ridiculous amount. Like even if you fork out a decent amount, you still get fucking shit internet from it in some places. Because it's like really, I think it's like one or two companies are really own most of it all, and it's quite hard to get anything decent in most places. Something like that. I remember them telling me before about sounds a bit. How would you say the word shitty in a not very nasty way? Sounds a bit not quite as good as what they could be doing.
Sounds a bit unfortunate.
Yes. I'm trying to look for the Stadia thread again because I'm sure it tells you. Someone posted something. Or it may have come up on my phone. Exactly how much bandwidth you use an hour when you're playing game. I just can't remember.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a lot. Let's face it. If you if you're doing the 4K 60 frames per second, then it's gonna add up quite quickly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even though it's not actually 4K.
Oh yeah. That's the thing is like. It would Stadia would be so much more viable if they weren't saying it was 4K 60. Well, they should. If they turn around and said it's 1080p at 60, then you would forgive them just for the bandwidth usage alone. You'd go, that's fair enough.
Yeah, and they oversold. They kind of they put the whole stats up, didn't they? About there's more teraflops in the Stadia data center than the PS4 and the X1X combined, and it's like, well, then why is it a worse? Why is the picture not native 4K? And
I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Google released a statement as to why some games are being upscaled from 1080 and not native 4K. Genuinely, I can't remember the exact quote, but basically they said it's the game developers' fault, not us. They literally said, we've got the infrastructure and we've got the technology, but we're waiting for game developers to catch up to us. How that is bad. You do not attack the developer.
The thing is, though, is I'm pretty sure like every fucking game on that service is 4K on the PC.
Yeah,
it is. Well, like Destiny 2, you can 4K on the Xbox. So there is a 4K version available. For them to turn around and say that the reason why not all games are, or the reason why the games aren't 4K, a native 4K, is because we're waiting for the games are already in native 4K. They work on the Xbox. They work on the PlayStation. They work on the PC. Like the native 4K is already there for the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't attack the developers over it.
No, exactly. And I can't believe that what they're doing, just running the PC versions of the game effectively. It's like they just set the settings to high in the resolution to 4K. Job done. Surely. There shouldn't be this much effort to sort of say, oh, the developers need to rework the game. No, they shouldn't be. It should just work.
Yeah.
But there you go.
There's literally there shouldn't be any extra development for putting it on Stadia. Because the game's been streamed, so that's up to Google to sort that out. Like, the game's just being streamed, so it's do you know? Apart from making sure it works on whatever technology they're using on their server, there's no extra development time.
Someone there's an article here, and it says that Google itself warned Stadia can use up to 20 gigabytes of data per hour. Red Dead Redemption 2 can use 7 gigabytes of data. Is using 7 gigabytes of data per hour at 1080p. So at 4K,
is quite realistic.
At 4K, you're looking at around 20 gigabytes an hour, whereas Netflix for a film uses 7 gig per hour 4K. So the difference is quite staggering, actually.
So
it's 3 gigabytes for 1080 when streaming a film from Netflix.
Yeah.
So if you do like quick maths, if you do 20 times 3, that's 60. That's 60 gig an hour that I'd be doing. Times that by 24. What's that? So 60, 600, 1200 gig. Then another 4, so it's 12, 6, 12, 2,240. Yeah. So So I'd be doing in the 24 hours 2,240 gig, which is 2.4 terabytes.
Yeah.
So a lot of data.
Sorry, what did we work out at 7
terabyte
gigabytes to do?
No, at 20 gigabytes if we've done it in 4K.
In 4K,
so,
yeah.
2.4 terabytes of data I would have downloaded roughly, like potentially. That's
says your Stadia 4K streaming will use up to 1 terabyte of data in 65 hours.
Not if some games. Do you know what I mean? That's crazy. 3 of us doing it. That is nuts.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
If you, that's yeah. I think that's going to be a big issue. It really is going to be a big issue in there. Is like you've got a data cap of 500 gigabytes a month. You can play your games a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what you would do though? Do you know if I had friends coming round, I'd say, right, guys, let's play a couple of games. We'll be using Stadia today. I would say, make sure you set your games to 480p, please.
Yeah,
I'm the one on 4K. Do you want to see some nice stuff? Look at my screen every so often. What do you mean you can't make out that's a person? What do you mean it looks like a bloody pixel? But no, I think streaming is a little bit off. But I think if they can get like the data usage down, and they can think of a reason for me to actually bother with it, then I'd be more happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, go with
that. I think that is going to be us for tonight then, though. I don't know if anyone in chat has any questions for us about the things we've talked about tonight. If you do, pop them in chat now, and we will do our best to answer them. You can direct either a question to all 3 of us, or one of us, or whatever.
Jazzen put, what resolution was Strokemon mastered in, and why was it 16K? Well, see, the thing is, Jazzen, what I did is I put it on. I was watching it at 4K on monitors at the same time, so that's how I consumed it at 16K.
Did any of you watch while we're seeing if anyone wants to think of any questions? Did any of you watch that? There was a video on YouTube. I can't remember the exact resolution. It was like something stupid. It might have been 16K, and they had like a fucking load of 4K monitors, and they were playing like Tomb Raider. They had like a 2080. 2080 GTXs or something ridiculous. And the game, it looked fucking amazing, but it was running like 3 frames per second.
Yeah.
But they had loads of fucking monitors connected up, like, and it looked like a lot of wiring, a lot of stuff, like. Matt says, will Jawa return for Christmas? I don't know if he will return to GRcade, but he's still around on Twitch, Matt, which you know.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time on my on the. Fair play to him.
Yeah,
he joined. He joined us at 6 p.m. when we started, logged off at about midnight, and then he was back on at 7:30 and stayed with us 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. Fair play to him. He did. He was a warrior.
It's one of the team.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be any more questions. So I think we're going to end here. What I am going to do is say goodbye. I am going to then play for one last time tonight. Jawa's Missing on Christmas Eve. And then the stream will end and I will go to bed because I've been up for a bit too long now. I can't do 24 hours like some people because I would die. So I shall say goodbye and good night.
Yeah, cheers,
Goodbye.
guys.
We will see you next Sunday. I will see you tomorrow for GRcade's loveliest Retro Monday. But I need to still work out what to play because it was my turn to pick and I didn't pick a game. So I was trying to work out if I could play 4-player arcade game like I did for The Simpsons, but I haven't worked out how to do it with anyone, and I also haven't actually asked anyone. So, bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Late September, it's getting dark. It's Christmas time, the hype can start. U-boats vanished without a trace. It's time to get through, but it's been erased. Stolen emails under mistletoe. That gift of USB gloves close. Kicks his email, Mrs. Claus. His love intentions, but she's out the door. No logo to mark the start of Christmas time. It means someone's missing, but I can see Jawa's missing on Christmas Eve. Where did he go? It just starts again. Falling like snow. Was it something Pedz said? Someone shared high roof field. It's where he was last seen. Even Secret Santa's thin on the ground. Like the snow, there's no one around. We could use some festive cheer now. Come save Christmas, someone, somehow. No logo to mark the start of Christmas time. It means someone's missing, but I can see Jawa's missing on Christmas Eve. Where did he go? It just starts again. Falling like snow. Was it something Pedz said? Someone shared high roof field. It's where he was last seen. I can't remember where to to me. The gifts are yours, this song is mine. Wishing you a Merry Christmas time.
Bye, guys.